Welcome everybody to our latest session of the Restoration of Cariele. Had a really nail biter ending on our last session, so we'll see what this one has in store for us. As usual, we'll go ahead and do a quick recap of what occurred last week, and then we'll get started. So team, you'll likely recall when we started up last week, part of you guys were up on the bridge, some of you guys were still down on the ledge trying to get up to the bridge as you were being chased by a Fext and some other interesting unidentified creatures. We had Tabard kind of holding the line back there, doing what he could to try to not let any of his teammates die, and slowly retreating back. Once the folks on the ledge got close enough to the bridge, where Mr. Serpentwind was then in play, he could actually see things and so forth, he did end up shouting to Tabard and ask him to run back. When it was Tabard's turn, he did that. Mr. Serpentwind had been ready in a spell at that point. When Tabard ran back, he fired off this, it almost looked like a sonic blast kind of a thing, and we saw a lot of rocks and such fall, sealing off this passageway, seemingly almost completely solid. This caused the Fext and her minions to seek another way around. The team then was able to get up to the bridge much easier. It was eventually revealed that, as already previously known, Mr. Serpentwind is an illusionist, and that was, of course, an illusion that worked out pretty well in order to send the opponents the other direction. So with that complete, the team was deciding what to do next. Eventually, the group decided that there's no way the Fext and the minions would expect if the team kind of went back the way they came, and so decided to start considering that. Eventually, the team, I believe, decided to go north through the Banshees area, Greater Banshees area, because the decision was you didn't want to kind of get cut off and have people on both sides. So you went through the Greater Banshees Mausoleum, went west, and eventually found yourself in these narrow catacombs where you were attacked by these ghost dogs. You guys were able to fight those off with some effort, lost definitely some wounds. Perceptive eyes, particularly Celine's, noticed that a couple of ghost dogs here had already suffered some wounds. And once the team defeated one of the ghost dogs and sort of sent the other one packing, they looped around and discovered two of those Fext minions actually dead on the ground of apparent ghost dog bites. So yeah, it seemed as though the Fext and the minions had fought the ghost dogs, and based on what we see on the ground here, a couple of the minions died, likely the Fext, and other minions maybe returned, possibly back through the shadow portal, hard to say. Excuse me. With that notice, the team then continued on their way out, essentially wanting to go outside and recuperate a bit. And so the team went outside. It was already late in the day, so they slept overnight. In the morning, having their 2 short rests restored based on our house rule. Some team members took a short rest, restored some resources, and then ultimately decided to head back into the ruins here with the intention of going right for the Greater Banshee. So the team made their way around, checking just to make sure nothing obvious had changed really quick. It hadn't. Once the group made themselves back into the Greater Mausoleum area, we had Jason and Celine standing outside the west doors while the rest of the team was inside of the mausoleum's inner chamber. Once the portcullis on the east side, where the sarcophagus of the Greater Banshee was, thanks to Blixel's divination ability to be able to determine exactly where it was, when that portcullis was lifted even a little bit by Serena, there was a force effect that caused the doors to slam shut. Luckily, some folks in the team thought of that exact possibility, and a piton was wedged between the door, which allowed for at least a little bit of a gap, a little bit of line of sight, even though this force effect shut the doors. Pretty quickly, we found the team engaged with the Greater Banshee, while both Celine and Jason on the outskirts of the room were eventually attacked by the ghost dog, who had decided that this was the opportune time to sort of phase back in here and strike out. With that underway, we had this battle that went on. It was a very deadly battle with the Greater Banshee using a whale effect, which knocked Jason completely to 0 HP, hurt basically everybody else pretty badly, and then the team was trying to fight her. Again, being an incorporeal creature, this portcullis was essentially protecting her. So Serena was trying to lift the portcullis and then sort of force it open with her great axe, take the fight to the Greater Banshee, and the team did so. But the Greater Banshee was quick, had legendary actions, to be able to attack off turn, and was very deadly against the party. At one point in time, she actually moved through the wall and outside of her chamber, used 3 legendary actions to restore her wail, and then on the next round came in and wailed again. This knocked Jason down to 0 once again, and knocked Mr. Serpentwind down to 0, and everybody else was just single-digit HP for the most part. I think we had one person that maybe had exactly 10. So very bad situation here. Eventually, however, through combined efforts, the very last blow was struck after Celine used some healing to get Mr. Serpentwind off of his feet. Mr. Serpentwind blasted a couple of arcane bursts, and luckily the second one managed to strike the Greater Banshee, and that was enough to destroy her. So shortly after she was destroyed, you guys had already recovered the orb. Celine had jumped on the sarcophagus and plucked it out, hoping that might have sent the Greater Banshee packing. Did not, but shortly after she was destroyed, you also realized that the ghost dog that phased in and was continuing the battle here against Blixel, after it was hit just a little bit, it also seemed to discorporate, just unwind in a sense, and it became pretty obvious to the group that the Greater Banshee's malevolent aura here was essentially holding everything together, holding these undead creatures in this area, and with her gone, they essentially begin to vanish. Unfortunately, it was her great will that was also holding these ruins together in the first place, and with her gone, we hear the sound of the structure beginning to collapse all around our player characters. So very dangerous time. So guys, that was a very quick recap of a lot that occurred last week, which was a whole lot, but I'm sure I missed quite a bit there. Is there anything anybody would like to add?
Yeah, I would. Oh,
Right.
let me get one in because,
I got one too.
Okay,
so
all right.
We'll see how it goes.
Because Jordan's got one because it's excellent entry. Okay, so after the long rest, you guys went in and you said, let's go to another place. And so Serena's like, let's go this way, right? She's running, and then Blixel runs up to that fire shooting torch, whatever, and that was confusing to the group. And I don't know if it was a 10-foot range, but it was something there, and you guys decided not go to the dilapidated docks, but backtracked anyway. So that was a curious event that happened there.
Yes, yep, good addition. So as the team made their way in, decided to kind of check out this alternate path, they found a statue by the wooden dock, and indeed, as I think it was Blixel that stepped in front, got blasted with some fire. So yeah, good addition. Go and take inspiration there, Dian.
I will go because on the ground side, I know it's probably the same one Dylan has, but he doesn't get to use inspiration until he's alive again, so it's better if I take it. In that same area,
I was gonna give mine to you anyway. So
in that same area, we there was another room off to the west. I think it was actually 2 sets of rooms. The first one was kind of empty, except for like it was a little skull looking at the wall. But the next one after that was the Banshee's stockpile of edibles, a big, huge growth of mushrooms. And also within the that room, we didn't see any outwardly poisonous ones, but we did see something called a void fungus, which is a sentient mushroom that is probably going to die when the tomb collapses, but they are capable of psychic attacks and consuming energy from human hosts, so we decided to back off and leave them alone.
Yes, great addition as well. And you were curious how many of those might actually even be in there. Hard to say. You only had a slight vision on that room, but ultimately decided not really worth going in there and testing your luck. Yeah, good addition. Go and take inspiration as well, Celine.
Oh, yeah.
all right, I got one. Did we get to mention the specifics about Oryx, which we finally got a second to do a check on?
We did not. If you're going to give some details, that would definitely be worthy.
Sweet. So what we know about Oryx is it's a lesser known entity, but it's associated with madness and cultists. And when we check those dead bodies of the ones that got killed by the Lich Hound, it had like it was obvious that it was once human, and it was a purple and white flamed obelisk is how it's like spoken about in lore, and it says that if you look upon it, it can make you go mad and or crazy, and you'll never be the same. And then we asked Tavard if he had seen it, and he's like, "Yep, I saw it." So we'll see how that plays out.
Yes, indeed. Great information. I'm sure that could come in handy very, very soon. Go and take inspiration as well there, Jason.
Since Jason is currently deceased, and you know, we have a plan, but it may not work. I'd like to give my inspiration to, let's say, Serena, to help her get out of here.
You can do so.
Sure, cool.
All right, is there anybody else that wants to add anything?
Adam, I'm just going to add one thing that is not inspiration worthy, but I just feel like saying it anyway. Is that I heard the words, I never thought I'd ever have to use this chart before.
Yes, that is absolutely right. I did say that, and hopefully that is something you're pondering. So. All right, if there's nobody else that wants to add anything, this might be setting a dangerous precedent here, but I want to go above and beyond the normal one inspiration that we give Saline for the entry. I thought the writing that Saline did for this last session was just fantastic, really great. Loved reading that. I thought it was a really well done, and we're going to give everybody another inspiration for that great entry. So if anybody does not have 2, if you have 1, you are up to 2.
Nice. I agree.
Oh,
It was
Jordan's
really
the
enjoyable
best.
read.
Yeah, good job.
Thank
Nice.
you.
All right, and I'm sure that in no way is impacted by the fact that hopefully everybody gets out of the ruins, right?
Gonna need them.
All right, if there
Look 'em if you
is
got 'em.
right, if there is nothing else, let me go ahead and dish out a card to each player, and then obviously, like usual, take a moment to review your card. If any questions, let me know. All right, everybody should now have a card, and let's get you guys back over to the ruins. And of course, we'll have a quick question for Dean on the outside of the ruins as well. At random side technical note as well, Roll20 has now kind of put a previously beta function as like force functionality today. So if I'm feeling a little bit slower, bear with me as I get accustomed to the new page map folder deal. Okay, so this is where our player characters are currently in the chamber. But, Dean, as you are on the outskirts of the chamber, you kind of rested out there. Maybe you were, I think we said you were really invested in checking out this particular plant that was nearby. And yet you were kind of lost focus there. The rest of the team went in without you. My question to you is, once Dean is done doing plant homework, would he wait for his team members to come out of the ruins? Or would he try to foolishly solo enter the ruins by himself?
What's the state of the ruins by the time I've become aware?
I think by the time you come down here, it looks like nothing has changed.
Yeah, I don't think Dean would go in. Sorry, guys.
I think that is very, very fair and makes the most sense. I just didn't want to make that decision for you, so I think you made the right decision, though. So,
Yeah.
all right. So just bear with us, because obviously we're going to go into a turn order. I will say once this all starts happening, when you start seeing everything shaking, you can certainly hear the sound of rocks falling, that kind of deal. I assume Dean's not going to, at that point, try to rush in, right?
Yeah, correct. I might be at the front and yelling or something to lead them, but I'm not going to put myself in danger.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to keep you out of the turn orders for right now, and yeah, we're going to go ahead and get to the party. So party, let me go ahead and put us right into initiative order, because this is going to be very important as far as turn order goes and rounds and all that fun stuff.
And also, Dean's thinking, maybe I'll be the king now. Oh, wait, I got to kill Vin, too.
Of course, the best initiative Jason has had is currently.
That makes sense. It seems like he always gets a really high... No, I'm just kidding.
The doors are still shut, right? Or
Yeah,
no?
the doors are closed except for the one on the west side, that there's that little bit of opening thanks to the piton.
Okay.
Okay, so with you guys there, I'm going to momentarily lock tokens as I add a couple of things to our initiative tracker here.
Uh-oh.
And can you put me as a seeing eye? Is that hard, Adam?
Yeah, I can do that. Just bear with me one
Cool.
moment.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yeah, he
Wants
can
to
do
watch
that.
his
Just
friends
don't
die.
worry. I'm used to being a spectator. He can give you that. He can give you that privilege. Don't worry.
Otherwise, it's just a blank screen. I'm listening to you guys scream in pain.
He's sitting there eating some cheese, like, oh, they'll be out soon, I'm sure.
Well, what's the first rule of survival, right? Is to stay put when you're lost, right?
Run faster than your friends.
Well,
That's if a bear's chasing you, dude.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Bear Survivor. Sorry.
You're mixing up your survival techniques.
Okay, so I don't want to give away too much here, but what I will point out is I've just added 2 things to the initiative tracker. The first one says init 20, so this is something is happening on initiative count 20 of each round. So I'm just going to throw that out there. And then you'll also notice at the very end, I added a thing called rounds until doom, and you could probably guess what that means.
Why does it say 0?
Because each
We're
round
dead.
that passes is going to add 1 to it. And once it gets to the mystery number, that's bad news.
I want to use my inspiration to know what that mystery number is.
I honestly, I will let you do that if you want to spend one.
Heck no. Doesn't make me run faster. So.
Right. Okay, Dean, I'm getting your spectator tokens set up here. We give you vision and 60 feet. Dark vision.
yay!
All right, so you should be good to go. Okay, there you are. Okay, folks, so Jason is, of course, dead, so we're going to skip him, and then we're going to move to init count 20. So on initiative count 20, I'm going to do this sort of in order, so I'm just going to go from left to right on my screen. So Tavern, you are first. Please roll me a d6. All right.
Yes, a 2.
Nice. Not a 1, not a 6.
You have rolled a 2. Okay, and now I need you to roll me a 1d30, please. A 7. All right, so you guys, as you're around here, you can hear the sound of the whole structure seemingly moving, shifting all around you. It is obviously a very precarious time. On Mr. Serpentwind's turn, he had previously been slumped down. He is going to pull himself up and move over to here a bit haggardly as he does so. He looks to Celine, who currently has the orb in her hand, and he reaches forward and he says, "Give me the orb. We got to get out of here." And he readies an action to receive the orb if you should so happen to hand it to him.
Do I need like an insight check to see if he's just gonna fuck off and run from us?
I mean, if you wish to use an action on your turn to do that, you can. It's up to you.
No, that's okay.
Tavern, it is your turn. Oh,
All
sorry, real quick side note. You guys probably noticed that I got the stupid token marker thing fixed finally, and it's kind of rotating now, animated if you've got animations turned on. So hopefully that makes it easier to know whose turn it is each time.
I thought that was going to teleport me home, but okay, that's fine. All right, so I'm going to pick up Jason. Is that an interact with dead object?
Unfortunately, no. That is a grapple.
Oh, sorry, just had to ask. Right? Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and move my token, and I'm going to go ahead and do my movement. But because of that, I'm at 20 feet. Correct?
Correct. You're moving at half speed.
All right, so that should drag him around towards where I am. It's just easier. Yeah.
So what I'm going to ask, Jason, is as Tavern is moving, if you don't mind, just move your token 1 square behind him, and then that way we know you're being carried by Tavern.
And then I'm going to say, "Can anyone heal him?"
He's dead, man. He's dead.
Okay, Celine's turn.
There's a chance, but it's risky. Blixel, do you have anything for Serena?
I'm gonna heal real quick.
Okay. So I will turn to Serpentwind and I'll say, "Remember our deal." And then, because I think the orb is like taking up my whole hand, right? So I couldn't do anything with it if I don't give it up.
I guess it depends what you mean, do anything with it.
I wish I wish to cast Revivify. So if I have the orb in my hand, I don't think I can have the scroll at the same time, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I know Dylan is going to yell at me, but this seems the most sensible thing for Saline to do. She doesn't really care about the thing. She wants to save the people. So is it interact with object to hand over the orb?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
All right, you step up and you hand it over to Mr. Serpentwind, and you see as he grasps it in his hands, you see the light from his dancing lights kind of illuminates his eyes as he looks at the orb in awe, his quest to finally get this orb fulfilled.
Now help us get out of here. And then, all right. So this one's for all the marbles. Dylan, are you nervous?
Yeah. Usually I don't go through the whole resurrection thing, so yeah, I am a little nervous. Usually I just start with something new, so yeah.
All right, so
And I'm not mad at you.
quick rules clarification here. So because Saline doesn't have the ability to cast third level cleric spells, but she's going to try to from a scroll, the way this works is she's got to hit a DC of 13, 10 plus the spell level, so 3, 10 plus 3, 13, and this is a wisdom check, essentially. So you're just rolling your wisdom. It's an ability check, so yeah, you're just rolling wisdom, and you got to get 13. Check. Yes.
Okay. Well, my character sheet is lagging really hard. Come on.
If you fail, I'm gonna drop this guy, and he's going to get another 1d6 points of damage for the fall.
Well, we've got options. So would you like me to just? I can't get my character sheet to open. Would you like me to just roll a 1d20?
Yeah, that works. Yep.
All right, here we go, boys. This is for all the marbles. Give me your energy. Chat spam angel thumb.
Let's go.
Says it's rolling the dice. I might need to refresh roll 20 because I think.
You're really trying to make this dramatic, aren't you? Yeah, you might need to refresh if it's hogging you that bad.
Jason,
Yeah,
Jason's like an NPC. He's like an NPC anyway. Like.
Okay, I'm reloading.
All right.
Lieutenant, thank you.
And hopefully once you reload, you'll be able to go on your character sheet, but if for some reason you can't, I'm seeing that you have a +2 wisdom, so essentially that means you have to roll at least an 11.
Does it not add my proficiency?
No, because this is an ability check, not a saving throw.
Okay, so it's not like a spellcasting ability mod that gets that. Or, well, the spellcasting ability mod, but not the... Okay. Understand. Alright, let's try again. No, it really doesn't want to do it.
Maybe it's wise.
I love the peanut gallery trying
Poor
to...
deal.
Let me try popping it out. Will that work?
I mean, if it's not working, do we want to ask somebody else to roll it for you?
Not it.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what the hell is happening. Let me...
I've honestly
Try a
never
different browser.
seen that before, where like it won't let you roll or click from your sheet. That's really strange.
Yeah. Let me try Chrome. Oh my god, I have to sign in.
What are you using other than Chrome? Are you on Firefox?
Hell yeah, Firefox is the best browser, except when it isn't.
I don't know about that. I use Chrome for Roll20.
Oh, Chrome Firefox fight.
Okay, Chrome is loading Roll20. There we go. Chrome will do it. Okay. So you want me to click Wisdom?
Yes.
Suspense is nuts.
Yeah, he kind of forgot what to roll like a week ago.
Here we go. Nope.
Okay, so you have failed the ability check.
Let's do an inspiration.
All right, so go ahead and click your inspiration. We'll obviously take that roll plus 2. That is a 4.
It doesn't want to.
Can I burn inspiration? Or my inspiration?
So typically we only allow 1 per check because this is like saving a character kind of thing. I'll allow 1 more, but I don't want to go through like everybody's inspiration, right? So sure, I'll let 1 more person add an inspiration.
Okay, I'll burn mine.
So when you burn it, I'm just going to take whatever you roll, and that's what Saleen's roll is, plus 2.
Okay, you want me to roll it? Okay. Yikes. All right.
They want him dead.
It is not meant to be, folks. That is 5-2-2. So yes, the scroll fails to work, Saline. And of course, with that, you see the scroll goes up and turns into essentially dust as its magic is used up.
Well, we tried. My
So
character
is it
is
too late to pick his pocket? I mean,
this is why I didn't send Vin.
Well, Vin has the suppository. Vin is fine. So my character popped back to the space I was in originally. So instead, so I came here, right? Yeah. So,
Well, you stepped up 5 to hand it over to Serpent
Yeah.
Wind, right? And then you would, I'm assuming, moved over 5 to cast this because technically Jason is in tavern space.
Could I not have reached him from here? Well, it doesn't matter. I'm going that way anyway.
So assume you spent
And-
10 feet so far. That's 15.
15, 20. I will try to open the door.
It opens.
25, 30, and that is my everything.
Okay, Blixel.
Okay, Blixel will move up here. And he is going to cast. Actually, he's going to do Lay on Hands for 4 points onto Serena.
Okay, Serena is restored 4 HP.
Okay. And he goes, "This place is pulling down all around us." As she opens her eyes on the ground. And he's going to start running out. So I spent 5 to get there.
As a reward, I'm going to play my card to thank Blixel for reviving me. And you get another action.
Nicely done.
Oh. Okay. Who else has 1 hit point besides me? I don't really have a good action besides just running ahead of everybody. Yeah.
Run.
I guess I will do that then. So yeah. So 10. Uh, 25. And then yeah, I guess he'll use the next action as a dash action.
Okay.
And he'll dash to here.
All right. You notice the structure shaking, little bits of tiny rubble, dust like that, cascading down, kind of just tapping into your shoulder here, Blixel.
Okay. And yeah, that's the end of my turn.
All right, Serena on the ground, prone but alive. Make sure you give yourself 1 point of weariness there, Serena, for being revived. And what would you like to do?
Wait, where do I add that?
If you click on your token, it will be in your red bubble. Just click your red bubble, click +1 on your keyboard, hit enter, and it will increase your red bubble by 1.
I'm on a Chromebook, so that's going to take a minute, but
All right, no worries. I can go ahead and up that to you.
I will do Ghostly Flash? Oh no, wait, that's actually slower. Never mind. I was going to go through walls and stuff, but if the door's open, I'm just going to dash.
All right, so you stand up from prone, spending half your speed. You'd have half, and then you can, of course, dash. Okay, and then I'm going to remove Jason from initiative since he has officially perished. Okay, and Nick count 20. Jason, you can still take part in this, though. Please roll me a d6.
Alrighty. Quattro.
And a d30, please.
29.
That might not be good for us.
All right, you guys can hear the sound of more collapsing as the terrain around you is shaking, rocks falling down, echoing out in this area. All right, Mr. Serpentwind's turn. After his fascination with the orb is satisfied, he is also going to start booking it. Tavern.
All right, I'm gonna book it, then book it.
And you're still holding on to Jason's body.
Well, you know what? It's a sad thing, but no, I'm not. So I'm just gonna go normal.
All right.
It
So
was
realizing
nice
the
to
scroll did not work and trying to make sure you survive, you drop Jason unceremoniously back into the mausoleum chamber.
He's right here in a tomb, you know? He's at home.
My token's gonna follow you guys though, cause I want to see.
Yep. Yeah, that's no worries.
It's my ghostly image haunting you for failing, Saline.
That's fine. She wouldn't have been able to live with herself if she hadn't tried, but since she tried, you know, that's all you can do, right?
Saline.
Here we go.
It was in the
5,
dice.
10, 15, 20, 25, dash, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. That's it.
Okay, Blixel.
Okay. Blixel. Damn. I'm wondering if I should heal or just keep going.
just run.
What's the
dude.
worst that could possibly happen?
Well, rocks could fall and hit me in the head. I have 1 hit point. So actually,
Valid thoughts.
I'm gonna get here. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay.
Rock falls, does 8 points of damage on your head.
And as a bonus action, knowing that this is sort of a more athletic thing, I'm going to give Bardic Inspiration to Celine.
All right. Saline has inspiration. The
And that's my
last
turn.
one. Hopefully, it's not the very last one of all time. All right, Cerilia.
I go, you're stronger than you look.
Serena's gonna dash. Serena's desperately trying to remember which way to go.
North.
North.
Okay, we passed the counter again. And then, let's see, we're back to initiative count 20. So, hey, DM, let's get you involved in this as well. Throw me a d6, please.
Sweet.
Also, Adam, can Jason burn his inspiration to find out that doom number?
No, unfortunately not. All right, with a 1, I'm going to need you to roll 1d30 twice. All right, and one more d30. All right, 4 and 7. Okay.
I don't
no
like what
clue.
is happening here.
Alrighty, we move back to Mr. Serpentwind's turn as Moore is crashing down. He continues his run. Tabard.
All right, now I dash. Oh, wait a second. I didn't see that up there. Adam, you gonna let me take those other two since I didn't see the spot up there.
I'm going to say this time only because remember, this is very claustrophobic inducing. You might go the wrong way, right? But yeah, this time only, sure.
All right, I think that's 8.
All right, Saline.
All right, you know what I'm doing. 5, 10. I've clicked my card and it's blocking me. 15, 20, 25, 30, dashing. 35. Oh my fucking god. 40, 45, 50, 55, and 60. Puts me here.
Hey, Blixel.
Okay, mad dash past him. This is a dead body I'm on, right?
It is, yes.
Okay. And I can't end inside Celine Square unless I want to go prone, so I'm just gonna stop there.
Okay, perfect. Serena.
Dash and
Okay, once again, another accumulated round, 4 rounds until Doom. And it count 20. We're to Saline. A 2, a 1d30, please. A
Oh, no.
30.
Oh man.
I think 30. I think that's good. But I don't know.
Green is good. Green is always good when we're rolling.
Yeah, the walls start to heal themselves.
Nature is healing.
The thing is, we've gotten really low and really high, so
Okay, we are to Mr. Serpentwind. The whole thing still shaking around. He rushes past you guys in a panic. Tabard.
After this is over, I want to know what these rolls are about.
I will explain, yeah.
I'm gonna say which way?
I think we went south, but then I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, I thought it was actually out this other direction. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and end my turn right here.
Okay.
Even though it's not all my space, but then that way there I can at least follow some smarter people.
All right, Saline.
All right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We're going to action dash. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Let me measure real quick. It's not enough. Okay. That's all I got.
All right, Blixel.
Okay. Chugging. Dash. It's the end of my turn.
Okay, Serena.
Serena looks to Celine to see which way to go.
Nothing around. It's a big U shape.
Wait, so am I going the right way?
Yes.
South.
We're on the right side of the U, by the way.
Does that look right?
That looks right to me, movement-wise. All right, we hit this counter again. Serena, D6, please. Okay. Mr. Serpentwind's turn.
Ha, good roll, Libby. No,
That makes me think 30 is bad.
30 was probably very bad. No
Uh,
D30 because she rolled a 6.
Cavern.
I'm
Yeah.
figuring it out.
Yeah, 2 because they rolled a 1. So
Yeah.
the more numbers we get, the worse it is, probably.
Yep, for sure.
All right, so that's my normal. All right, and then that's there, and I did that in case anyone needs to sit in my spot there.
Okay, Celine.
Now, Saline went up these stairs when she was being chased by the idol earlier.
She
Does
did.
she remember? Does she remember the little windows up there? Could she see through those enough to cast a spell?
She could.
All right. Then she is gonna. And through that window was the exit, correct? With the vines and the shit.
That seems kind of familiar. It's been a while, but that sounds probably right.
This was the room. This was the room. Overlooking. We saw that. So she's gonna go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 to here, and then she's gonna spend her last spell slot. Second to last spell slot, because I have 2 left, but only one of them will work here. To cast Misty Step to jump over there. Now, do you count the vines as occupied spaces?
No, but they do block vision for this purpose, so you wouldn't be able to go through them.
Sure, but Misty Step is a bonus action, and I still have my action to dash, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to burn the 3rd level because I don't have 2nd.
Okay.
But we will pop over as close as I can get, which I think is here. And then I will action dash to try to push my way through the vines.
You spend 10 feet of movement to push through the vines.
Hey, Saline.
It's coming down! The others are behind me!
Get out of there!
We see Dian sitting here with a little teacup sipping.
No, that's okay. Don't help or anything. We're fine. And then I will go... So that was 10 to get to here, or 5 or 10 per vine space?
So it's difficult terrain, so 10 feet to get to there based on where you were.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go the rest of the way. So I have 20 left, so that puts me here.
Okay, Blixel.
Okay. I shake my head, wishing I could Misty Step. Instead, I'm going to follow everybody else. And then dash. That's all I got.
All right, and Serena, I'm assuming you're just going to try to get out of here as quickly as possible, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so based on where you are, plus the amount of movement you have, I'm going to say you are able to easily get through the vines. No worries there. We start to the next round here, so we are on Blixel. D6, please. And a D30. All right, we see actually where you are currently standing, Blixel. You notice to your south a lot of the rocks seemingly coming down and kind of moving your way.
Okay.
Pressure, though.
All right, Mr. Serpent wants to get to there. Okay, so based on everybody's remaining movement, you're all going to make it. There's going to be no issue. So I'm going to actually put you guys all out past the vines. You guys have all survived. I was worried that was going to be a little bit more dangerous than what it was, but hey, well, luck was on your side. Okay, so just as a fun little backstory of this, of how this works, so what I did is I put 30 different piles of rubble on the map, and each D30 was which pile of rubble essentially came down. So the numbers were random as far as where exactly they were, and most of the dice that you guys rolled, it was rubble way far away from you. The closest one you guys got was that 3, which was just south of where Blixel was. Everything else was way away from you guys, so it worked out in your favor.
Nice. And would that have
Many
like
rounds?
blocked caverns and blocked passageways, or would it just fall on top of it?
Well, there's 2 types of rubble. I had what's called minor rubble and then major rubble. Minor rubble comes down, hits you for some damage if you pass through that square when it's falling, and then it creates difficult terrain in those 4 spaces. The major rubble does more damage and makes the passageway impassable. So it could have completely blocked a route, and you would have had to try to go a completely different way.
Damn. How many rounds till doom did we have?
10. So you guys only used 5, so yeah, no real worries there. Maybe 6 you're on to use.
Well, luck was on all our sides,
Except
except for
one of us.
Jason.
Yes. So as you guys manage to get out of here, past the vines, find yourself able to breathe the fresh air of the outside once again. You could hear the sound of the ruins collapsing behind you, and it's, 30 seconds later before you can just see the whole edifice of the ruins here crumbling down. So much rock has fallen down that it has completely sealed the entranceway. Trying to get away from the dust and everything that is being carried and shards of rock and all of that, you guys make your way back up to the upper area here of the coast right before this pond.
Oh my god.
Put you guys back on the regional map.
Is everybody okay?
Define okay,
Manner of
fine.
speaking.
I guess.
We lost Jason down there.
Hardly knew the man.
Regardless, this isn't a victory. He gave his life to help us get this. I hope the gravity of that is not lost on anyone here.
It's not, but do you think this cave-in will stop that gate from getting used more?
Well, if it is used, they have a lot of digging to do to get them out there, but
It's a good thing.
I'll be honest, Tavern, I didn't like your new wife.
Yeah, that's why I didn't marry her.
So the orb and Did you guys work out the deal with Serpent Wind? Is it what you think it is?
We didn't have time to identify it before the place came crashing down on us, but I think
That's why I'm bringing it up now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think regardless, we should make our way back to Carolinian, and Count Gladdenil will probably want to weigh in on this as well.
I never thought I'd be glad to get back into that boardroom.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to some C-SPAN episodes again after all that.
Okay. Well, come here. Who needs some healing? Just bundle up.
Everyone.
Well, who's first then?
Well, Blixel is like an inch from death, so he probably needs it the most.
Okay, Pixels.
I
What?
healed myself a little bit, but yeah, can you get like inside my ears where my brain is? That's where she got me the worst.
How's that?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Who's next?
Me?
There you go. I have more. I'll hit you
Thank
again,
you.
Serena, if you want.
I'll take some if you're offering.
All right, there you go, Saline. I can pop 2 more.
I might as well just take just a itsy bitsy one, please. That's fine.
Okay,
What
there
about-
you go.
What about you, Serpent Wind? How are you feeling?
He's
She's still-
gazing into the orb, and he just seems absolutely fascinated. After a moment, you say this. You see he like kind of moistens his tongue, and then he looks back and he says, yes, I am hurt a bit, but just some time is really what I need. And I suppose if you have some extra magical reserves, but if not, maybe we just head up and we take a short break up above.
Is that thing mesmerizing you? What are you looking in there?
You don't understand how long I've tried to get this. This is a very potent magical item. I've been looking for it for a long time, and it's just, imagine something that you've always wanted, you've always dreamed you could have, and it's always been out of your grasp. I finally have it, and it's thanks to you all, your great work in there. You've done a fantastic job.
Yes.
I'll remind you that we do not have it yet. We still need to fulfill our agreement.
Yes, of course. If one of you wishes to do you have the ability to identify?
I do, but I don't think you were paying attention. I think that Count Gladdenil will want to hear about this as well before we make the ultimate decision. I don't see it being a problem, but I would like to do this back in Carolinian. And I think the Count would agree.
You see he sort of nods slowly. Yes, I suppose that makes sense. And, well, in the interests of full transparency, please allow me to let you know that on our hectic journey out of there, as things were kind of crumbling and rocks were kind of coming down, I noticed a very strange sight. It was a scroll, it looked like. It must have been hanging on one of the pillars or somewhere odd. I don't even know. It doesn't make sense. But when all of the shaking happened, I saw it come down, and we were in no time to really discuss. So I just scooped it up real quick, and, well, deal is a deal. You get everything other than the orb. So here it is. And he hands a scroll out to the team.
Can I read it?
Would you like to take it from him?
I mean, I don't think the rest of the team really likes to read, so...
No, of course.
The last scroll we had was Bunko.
If it was my failings that caused that. But yeah, I'll take the
That's
scroll.
not true. It wasn't your fault. That thing was a faulty scroll, so I'm not that excited to see this, but thank you for handing it over, I guess.
You notice Mr. Serpentwind nods as you take it from him, Saline?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this scroll is obviously paper, but you can see there's like a silver coin there that's part of the clasping mechanism that keeps the scroll all bundled up. It has more of a heft to it than a typical scroll.
So I don't think it's a spell scroll.
It doesn't look like your basic spell scroll, I will say that.
I will, I'll put it in my pack for now. I think we probably want to move in, like, short rest, but, no.
Okay, fair enough. Yes, let us get up above and, yeah, I really need to catch my breath. Oh.
As he starts going ahead, I'm gonna pull some of us aside as not to make it obvious and be like, and try not to let him hear me, but say, should we take that thing from him before he just runs off with it, just to make sure? All right.
Let's just. You can go talk to Ben.
He lives
Who?
in the city, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, we don't know a lot about this guy.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just saying.
I hear what you're saying, but
He's
he's proven his worth. He's done a lot of help. He lives in the city. I think we can continue to trust him.
I remember this old story someone told me once, and it's a long story, but one of the characters was really obsessed with this ring. And that's what this guy looks like. He looks like that Smeagol character
Like it's
in that
Yeah.
story.
it does look precious to him. It's
His
true.
eyes are pretty big.
So
Are you-
let's just
are you-
keep an eye on him at least.
If you're suggesting it may be cursed, and I do get the Lord of the Rings reference, very good. I will point out that I also touched it, and I did not have a similar experience. So
Yeah, we wouldn't
Maybe
want
it's-
anyone messing around with anything that can change them internally or externally or anything. But
yeah, that would be terrible if that happened to somebody.
yeah, it would be horrible.
Well, the camp's just up here. Let's settle in where you guys last rested, and we'll get it sorted.
I'm gonna watch it though.
Yeah, keep an eye on it.
All right, so you guys make your way up to the previous camp that you used with the intention of spending an hour or so here short resting, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, you guys are easily able to do so. Find yourself back in the same spot and beginning to take a short rest. You notice that Mr. Serpentwind is very much focused on the orb almost this entire time. Very, very early as you guys get towards the camp, you see he looks up towards you, Saline, and he says, obviously, we will take this back to Vin, the regent, and allow him to decide, exactly how this works. But you don't have any problem if I attune to this, do you?
I would like to identify it first, if it's all the same to you.
Give me a blind check, Saline.
I think we're gonna have to insist on that, actually, Mr. Serpentwind.
There's my token.
Are you helping him? Her.
Sure, yeah.
I'm assuming. Well, I can say Saline is not proficient in persuasion based on that check, so unfortunately that won't help. But Mr. Serpentwind, you see he kind of looks a little bit downtrodden as you say this. Saline says, I understand your reticence, but look at this from the logical path. We hope that there will be no issues on the way back to Carolinian, right? But there very well could be, and I can tell you, based on everything I've read about this orb, it will make my magic stronger, and should we run into any issues, don't we need all the strength we can get?
Now can I do an insight check to see if he's bullshitting me?
Sure.
If there's something more underneath there?
Blind check, please. Yeah, hard to say. He's obviously very interested in it, but you don't pick up anything particular.
You do have Bardic, by the way, if you want to spend it on that. It only lasts 10 minutes.
Oh, I mean, I might as well. It's probably gone then, right?
I'm assuming, honestly, by the time, you guys got out of there, discussed, climbed up, found the camp, 10 minutes has already passed.
Oh, well.
Doesn't it only take you a little bit of time to actually identify it, though? We could identify it, then we rest. You can attune to it if it's safe.
Yes, yeah, that would be fine, yes.
What do you think about that, Celine? Could you do that before we rest?
Yes, I can. It would put my mind at ease, Serpentwind.
Yes, come here. and you see he kind of like sits down cross-legged and holds the orb out. You get the impression that he's basically wanting you to be like sitting right across from him while you're identifying.
I'll do it.
All right, so during this 10 minutes of identification, is there anything else in particular anyone's doing?
I'm just keeping an eye on him.
All right, 10 minutes has passed. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Deanne.
Just for funsies, since it's like 10 minutes, what did I find as I was farting around looking for stuff? Did you have a quick table to see if I forged anything while they were in?
I do, but I feel like that would give you a benefit for not being here. So I'm going to say you found a whole lot of plants that looked like stinkweed.
Okay.
Not very beneficial.
All right, never mind.
All right, so all right, so that identify finishes, and once it finishes, you are able to determine exactly what this does. And I'm assuming you're okay, Shailene, if I share this with everybody?
Do it.
Okay, this is what you've determined that the item does.
It's not world ending.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it would be nice if we were evil. We would just kill him and take it. It would be pretty cool, but I don't think we are, so.
How do you feel about dying for this thing, Dylan?
He's quiet. He can't weigh in right now. He's dead.
Yeah. I'm dead, and Vin is chilling hard right now, so he has no idea what you guys are up to. He's probably, found some really good tobacco, and he's smoking on his patio.
I mean, honestly, it's more important that we shut down the gate to the shadow world where this evil god was going to send people through, so.
Noah's been doing an evil run through BG3. So he's
We
tempted.
both have.
He's tempted to stab a wizard.
He's getting like a dark urge, you might say.
Exactly.
All right, so as this finishes, Mr. Serpentwind looking at you, Shailene, as the dawn of light of recognition fills your eyes, he looks at you expectantly.
Well, I share the information with the party, and I say, I personally don't see a problem with allowing you to attune to this. But, once again, we are returning to Carolinian, and we are talking to Count Gladnell about this. I cannot fathom that he would tell you that this is too dangerous for you to have, but I don't want to make the decision in my lord's place.
He nods. Oh, that is understandable. I don't intend to leave you at all. So yes, let's travel back.
Given that a man has given his life for you to have this, can we count on you to be summoned if Count Gladnell needs your assistance in the future?
Well, I must say, I have really enjoyed, well, maybe that's not the right word based on my injuries, but you are a very competent team, I can say that much, and you all seem to be quite capable, and in a strange way, I must say, I actually did have fun being with you all. This was, it's dangerous, but it was very enjoyable, so yes, I would be happy to assist where I can. I can't say that I'll be in Carolinian permanently, of course. Sometimes my research does take me elsewhere, but certainly I will make sure that my information is left with the court, and that way if you need to contact me, you'll be able to track me down.
Great. We consider you a friend of the court.
He smiles with a nod as he then, you see, closes his eyes, holding onto the orb, which you recognize as the attunement process. All right, team, is there anything specific anybody would like to do other than get in the short rest, restore whatever it is that you need, and start making your way back to Carolinian?
Yeah, just making sure I'm not turning into goo or anything. Yeah.
You have these fond thoughts of bountiful ocean waters and seas, and the sound of rivers is filling your mind, and the thought of sitting on a frolicking pond with lily pads. It sounds really pleasant, but no, you're not turning to goo or anything.
That's nice.
Can I spend 15 minutes to look around? Since I'm out and about, I feel like I should be looking for ingredients.
As part, sure, yeah, as part of your short rest?
Yeah.
Yes, throw me a blind check.
Well, let me remember to take weariness off. Where's my token?
Should be on the far right of this map. If not there, you can drag it on. So based on that roll, no, you don't find any usable ingredients in this area spending 15, 20 minutes.
Okay, cool.
All right, team. Anything else specific other than making your way back to Carolinian? As a reminder, you guys slept overnight out here, so it's actually still, say, late morning at this point. Anything particular other than hoofing it back to Carolinian?
Did the short rest go off?
Yes, yep. Feel free to restore whatever you typed into chat.
I'm going to make Serpentwind sign a name and likeness disclosure from me. Like, hey, I'm probably going to write a song or a story about this adventure, so I need to make sure you're cool with me putting you in it. Is that okay?
And you're saying that? Are you like holding up a piece of parchment for him to sign, or you're just saying that?
Yeah, I have a piece of parchment for him to sign.
All right, give me a blind check.
He's prepped like 5 or 6 of these. He just has them on his person, just in case.
You notice he kind of narrows his eyes as you say this. You get the impression he knows exactly what you're saying right now. And he says, sure, I'd be happy to sign whatever it is that you need.
Okay. I just don't want, in case you don't want people to know that you got this orb or something like that. You know what I mean? I want to make sure you're okay with it, because this was an amazing adventure. R.I.P. Jason. But yeah, I've learned not to offend people along the way. You know, I'm pretty good about that now.
And he looks at you as you say this, and he says, I see. Well, I've always discovered being honest with people is the best way not to offend them.
Cool. Appreciate it. Thank you for your help on this one, Serpentwind.
He signs whatever document you put in front of him.
Okay. Yeah, it's what he says. It's a basically he's okay with Blixel writing a story or song or something about this adventure.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. All right, folks. Anything else in particular before you guys start the trek back to Carolinian?
It's been 1 day, right, Adam? Or a day and a half, maybe?
Well, since they left Cerilia, remember, it's about a day's travel out to these ruins. So they spent a day traveling, then they did some adventuring at night, then they slept until the morning, and now they're traveling back. So by the time they get back to Cerilia, it's probably like 3 days total.
Okay, alright. So, is there anything that I can say for Vin in that time?
No, because again, he wasn't active at that point, so essentially he's doing miscellaneous duties.
Getting his ear talked off by Tandem.
Yeah, really
He's
the only
complaining
duty
about
I
how much
wanted
money
him...
he spent.
I just want him to be able to get Stinky back, since he doesn't have anybody to argue with it.
And I'm assuming he wouldn't want to go out by himself to try to track Stinky down, so we'll assume you've like put out feelers like, hey, we need to find somebody, but it's been pretty busy, so there's not been a whole lot of movement on that quite yet. All right, team, so you guys eventually do make the trek back to Carolinian. Serpentwind has attuned to this orb. He seems prepared, ready to go. You guys are a bit refreshed, but it's all for naught because your trip back to Carolinian is very uneventful. It's no issues. You see nothing out of peculiar. No people really at all. Some animals here and there. You witness the weather, but other than that, it's very uneventful, and you find yourself back in Carolinian. All right, once you guys get back to Carolinian, I'm assuming it is late at night at this point. Again, about a day's journey. You guys left late morning, so maybe 7 p.m., 8 p.m., something like that, by the time you guys make your way into the city proper. Mr. Serpentwind looks at you all with a smile and he says, "A job well done. Very well, very well. I'm assuming, based on the late hour, we will reconvene in the courtroom tomorrow morning. Is that appropriate?"
Sounds good to me. I gotta get some sleep.
Oh, me too. Man, that was exhausting. All right, well, I shall see you early in the morning then. I look forward to it. And thank you once again. This was quite an accomplishment.
Thank you. Not too early. Spend some nice time with that new orb of yours.
You see he kind of smiles as you say this and he nods. "Oh, yes, I plan to."
Am I getting the impression that he's gonna fuck off, like go to his own house or something?
You think he is
Yeah.
going to his house to sleep, likely, yes.
Do we want to suggest that he stays at the castle with us, so that we can keep an eye on him?
Mm,
We have empty rooms.
okay. Hey, Serpentwind, do you want to just crash at our place tonight? Make it easier?
Oh, well, I really need to check on my plant. It's been a couple of days. I got to give it some water.
Oh, don't worry about that plant. We'll send somebody over or something like that. Don't worry about that. We'll all go to the same place right now.
Well, I'm road weary. I'm all dirty and stinky. Just let me head home. And well, if you want to meet up this evening, I'd be open for a drink. Perhaps we all meet at the castle in a couple of hours. But it'll have to be a short one, though. I'm pretty tired.
Yeah, come over for a drink.
He nods. Okay. Then give me a couple of hours. And do I just come to the gate and let him know that I'm coming to see you?
You'll tell the guards to expect you.
Okay. All right. Well, then I look forward to seeing you this evening. Then.
All right. Take it sleazy.
He chuckles again as he looks back at you, gives you this wave, and you see him just kind of saunter off into the crowd.
And as we
He's
head
a pretty good guy.
Yeah, no, he's proven himself to be a good man. I wonder if my family's made it to town.
How far of a way is your neck of the woods, Dean?
Oh, it's right here in Riverford. It's not far. It'd be great to see her.
All right, let's get back then.
All right, you guys make your way to the castle. Arriving at the castle, you find things are a little bit calmer than when you left them. Is it your intention to head right to try to find, say, where Vin is and kind of fill him in? Or are you guys kind of taking your own personal time and waiting until later in the evening when you expect Mr. Serpentine?
Straight to Vin.
I've decided I want to become religious there for a moment. Their voice in the sky. By chance, does this castle here, whatever, have a chapel and a chaplain specifically of like 5th level or higher that I can speak to?
Not that you are aware of, Tavert. You do know that there is one of the petitioners that you guys previously spoke with who's affiliated with the Northern Reformed Church. You assume he certainly would be a contact that gets you in connection with a cleric of various power levels. But there's not like a cleric on retainer, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd love to go visit that guy if it's not too late.
Sure. All right. So you're going to head into try to track him down. Again, you don't know exactly where he's at, but there is obviously a huge church here in Carolinian of the Northern Reformed Church. So that's as easy a place to go as any other to try to track that dude down.
Yeah, I just want to say hi.
All right, so we'll take that one first then. So Tabard breaks off from the group, makes his way to the main church here in Carolinian, and once you get there, you talk with some of the staff and you ask where Mr. Gavin Boulderdown might be found because you'd spoken to them previously and so forth. And surprisingly, they know exactly who you're talking about, and surprisingly, he's there actually. So one of the staff members brings him out to you. Mr. Gavin Boulderdown here, as a reminder, is a very young man. He is a minister of the Northern Reformed Church, but he seems very, very young for this position. But as he exits from this little back room and he sees you there, you see he gives this soft smile and he says, "Ah, greetings, counselor. What can I do for you at this hour?"
Well, hello, my friend. I was just out adventuring and came across something odd, and you're the first person I thought of that I need to come and tell my adventure to because I think it's of a religious nature.
Oh, how interesting. Please tell me.
Well, have you ever heard of a deity before? Kind of more like an obelisk kind of thing. Oryx, Oryx.
Give me a D20 roll here, Tabard.
Oh, he didn't even give you a skill. He just said roll the d20.
You see Gavin kind of puts his hand to his little thin mustache here and kind of picks it for a moment. No, I'm afraid that name does not ring a bell. It's obviously not one of the main deities in the pantheon, then. Some kind of esoteric minor deity, perhaps?
Yeah, very much so. But so I went into the shadow realm.
His eyes like get
Yeah.
really wide almost immediately as you say this. You what?
Could you imagine? I know. I think we should talk about this a little bit more. And anyway, so I stared at this obelisk that I don't think I should have, right? And anyway, I felt that I was changing. So I thought I should come to you because I heard this guy was like a religious, obelisk. And so I felt, who else could help me find some more information on this and make sure that myself and the realm are okay?
You notice he's like, you get this like expression has definitely changed on him. He is very much nervous at this point. He kind of like sort of absent-mindedly starts scratching his forearm. Well, Tavard, if I might be so bold, I think perhaps it would make the most sense if you stay here with us and we can monitor you and make sure that whatever this affliction that might be upon you, if you're changing, like you said, is not anything dangerous. And in the meantime, I can get the superiors and explain to them what you've explained to me. And well, we can try to see what we can do to help you. I would just hate to have you walk out into the streets if this terrible thing has befallen you. Who knows what you could have brought back from that plane?
Could you imagine? I want to keep this in the down low. I don't even want my friends who are listening on Discord to know about this.
He nods. I understand. Yes. So please stay with us. Let me escort you to a room, and it will be a secure room, and you'll be given comforts and things. But I think this will be the best way, and I will immediately talk with my superiors and see what we can find out.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. And I think one thing that would definitely make me feel better though is mead. I just think so.
He nods. Oh, that is no problem. We
No,
can certainly get you some
mead,
mead.
not weed. No.
Yes, absolutely. We can certainly do so. And you notice he like kind of motions with his head, and he kind of starts walking back towards these various rooms in like the back area of the church.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm afflicted, but I don't want to take a chance, you know?
As they say, better safe than sorry.
Let's go.
He will take you back to this room, Tabard, and essentially, not in a bad way, but you're going to be on ice for a little bit because, he's seeing what he can find out as you're in this very basic but comfortable little area. Kind of similar to what Saline said there, secure room. There's not really bars, but there is a very stout door. There is a cot. There's a little like prayer desk. You can find some religious books and things to ceremony. But other than that, after say 20 minutes or so, they do bring you mead as promised. But other than that, it's a very bare room. But yeah, you're kind of there for a bit.
Yeah, but to be honest, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I need to do.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Absolutely. All right, so team, Tabard kind of discusses this briefly, makes his way out. Rest of you guys, give me an idea what you're doing. I think I heard Dean say head right to Vin.
Yeah, that would be my intention. Sure.
Okay.
I'll go along with that too, because I'm
Me
going to
too.
try to stay up for Serpentwind to come back with the drinks.
All right, so the four of you then make your way to the castle and try to track Vin down. 7 p.m. Where do we think Vin is right now?
7 p.m. in a castle to himself. Vin is not in the castle. He might be at the Hog's Head, Adam. He probably went for a drink.
All
Took
right.
Arthur, and I would say he has Despin, the new hired bodyguard, and Arthur with him. And he probably went down to the Hog's Head to see Fran and have a drink. He's been cooped up for 3 days. You know what I mean?
Did you say Benton, or was there a different name? Are you talking about the petitioner you guys were potentially hiring?
No, we definitely hired him. Remember? So what was his name? Destin, right?
Yeah, Destrian Light. My note on here says Tavern to talk to him later. I got the impression it wasn't like a done deal yet.
Oh, I think Tavern was just gonna, talk to him about specifics. But if I remember correctly, we hired him and we told him it would be a pleasure for him to be in our service, and he said he would be back with his stuff.
I'm okay with that if that's you guys' understanding. 'Cause I remember you guys speculating and saying like, oh, maybe he could guard your mom, that kind of thing. That sounds like a terrible joke, but that's what you really said, right? But
No, yeah,
I don't
no,
remember it being a
yeah,
thing yet.
Well, I remember you saying it wouldn't affect our bottom line in
Correct.
terms of money, so we went ahead and hired him, and I think Tavard was just clarifying details of his guard duty, but
Yeah,
since all of his
I'm good
friends
with
are
that.
gone,
Yeah, I'm
he
good with that.
probably
If
has.
nobody else disagrees and that's your recollection, I'm totally good with that.
I'll
I
talk to him a
disagree, though. I
couple
deny
days.
Vin a friend.
All right, so we will assume then that you are there with Destrian and with Arthur. Okay, so the rest of the team, you make your way to the castle, you look around for Vin, you don't find him. Maybe you ask the staff, like, hey, where's the regent at? And one of them eventually clues you in that he and a couple of guards made his way over to the Hog's Head Tavern. Do you guys decide to head out there to track him down, or do you say, nah, screw that, we're going to sleep now, or what do you guys do?
Exactly. I say screw that. I'm going to sleep. Blix
He
was going to
clearly
sleep
doesn't
now.
care that much.
That's what Serena's going to bed too.
So I will ask, who's the head steward again?
Head steward? I don't think you guys have a head steward.
I don't know, the guy.
The treasurer?
Who's the guy that was walking us around, I guess?
That was Lord Tannenbosch. He is
Lord
the treasurer.
Alright, so is Lord Tannen around? I'd like to ask him if my family has arrived in my small tribe.
All right, fair enough. You ask him. You ask again around the staff to see where Lord Tannen is. Again, it is late in the evening. The people here tell you that Lord Tannen has left like his work day. Essentially, he was gone a couple of hours ago.
All right, I'm gonna head off to the Hog's Head.
All right, so Dean's heading to the Hog's Head. Blixel and Serena are going to sleep. Saline.
Zangling doesn't care enough to go to the inn, especially if Dean is going to go get him. She's going to go to her room, but she's not going to go to sleep. She's going to pull out that scroll and see if she can read it.
It seems to be magically unreadable, aka you would have to use Identify to be able to read it.
I will ritually identify the scroll.
Alrighty. All right,
Man,
you
that
ritually.
pearl, and he's just slinging it around now. He's like, I got this.
All right, ritually identify. Again, are you going to share these details right away, or should I reveal these just to you?
Yeah, she'll share it. She
All
loves
right.
talking people's ears out.
Okay, so after you cast Identify, you recognize this is an ancient Andu scroll of protective ward. Feel free to read that over. Let me know if you have a question.
Nice bonus action.
It is a bonus action.
And you get to
And
cast
not
it at third
concentration
level.
either.
1 3rd level casting for free.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So it'll be 3d4 plus spellcast mod temp.
10 hit points, yep. And a critical hit negation. As long as they have the temp HP, they get any critical hit is negated. That's pretty cool, dude.
Just pay attention to the duration, but yeah, it is definitely a very interesting spell.
I think that's a pretty Celine item, too. Look, wizard.
I feel like we're rounding out everybody getting some magic items here.
Oh, yeah.
So is it just Dean going to Hogshead? Everybody else went to bed? Well, or went to their rooms?
Or otherwise, yeah. So I think we will slip over then to Dean arriving at the Hogshead Inn so we can get Vin finally a chance to be back on screen. So yes, Dean, you make your way over to the Hogshead Inn.
I'll push open the door and look for my friend, the Count.
I'd imagine he's probably chatting up some people, Adam. So I don't know what it's looking like on the interior, but he's definitely probably talking to some NPCs, and Arthur's probably right behind him. Same with Destrian.
So I'll walk up and I'll say, sneak up behind you. I'll say, "Man, they'll let anyone in this place, huh?"
I'll turn around quickly. Ah, Chief, Counselor. And you can see he's a little intoxicated.
I slap you on the shoulders. We've all made it back except for Jason, the gentleman you sent with us. But if you're sticking around for a while, I can fill you in.
He didn't make it, eh?
Well, that's what they told me. You see, we went for a rest and went back in, and I got twisted, and I don't know, wasn't able to make it. And next thing you know, the building collapsed. But yeah, well, I can tell you more about it, but that's what they told me on the walk back. But tea, please. Yes, thank you.
You see Fran behind the counter, and you say this, and she looks at you and motions with her finger, as in, "I got it," motion. And 5-10 minutes later, she will bring you some tea.
And I'll take a pouch on my belt that's got some dried up leaves. You don't know what it is, but I'll pour it in there and stir it up a little bit.
Well, that's sad news. I'll have to talk to his mother and father about it, but perhaps this place is not well, it's not the best place for that kind of conversation.
Sure. Well, who are your friends?
These are just people from the city. I missed you guys. I got bored and cooped up. I wanted to go out, but, well, Tannen insisted I take somebody with me.
All right, and who is spending that card?
I am. I'm gonna put it on you there, Adam. So see if I recognize anyone there he's talking to, I guess.
Oh, sure, yeah. And you're doing this to one of the people that Vin is speaking with?
Yep.
Roll me a D5, Dean.
While that's happening, I'll just turn and say, everyone, this is Chief Counselor Dean Cathbad. Seems he just returned from his duties.
Hello.
And you see the gentleman who is sitting on Vin's right side here is actually a male dwarf. You see he has brown hair and sharp hazel eyes. He's wearing some simple clothing, and you notice at his side there's like a small pack and a birch staff there. You see he looks up and kind of strokes this big beard. "Ah, good to see you, counselor. How are you? Vin has been telling us some stories."
Larry, Steve, or Dave? Hey, is this the guy I recognize?
It is, yeah. So his name is Bolvy, and you get to decide what your association or the nature of your relationship is with him. So what is it?
Okay, Bolvy was separated from his adventuring group and found his way into my very small 5-person tribe. He knows my wife, Belle, and my son, Dash, and we kind of took care of him, and he went about his way.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm going to put this in chat so you know Bolvy. He is a craftsman, and we are going to say a part-time adventurer, let's say. He's definitely not somebody that you would think, oh, this guy's an epic hero or anything like that. You mostly know him as being a pretty competent craftsman, but as he sees you, he does again give you sort of inclination of the head, and he recognizes you, and he says, "Oh, it's very good to see you once again."
How's your arm, Bolvy? You were a riot that night. Do you remember?
Only vague images here and there. Kind of comes and goes, but I'm holding up. How's Belle?
Oh, I don't know. I've been away for a while, and I'm gonna offer him some of my leaves to put in his drink and see if he remembers whether or not he should drink it or not.
So I'm gonna say, being a dwarf, he's not real big on the leaf drink, unless you think otherwise. So he's gonna do the whole no, I'm good.
So he was being very nice to his hosts when he visited. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to see Belle. I've sent a message to her. I sent a message to her, and hopefully she can make it here. But yeah, this is this is where I'm at. I'm now, I guess, the chief counselor here at this city.
Wait.
Mhm.
You already know each other, eh? What
Yeah.
a fate.
I don't know. Bobby, what are you doing in this town?
Well, there's so much excitement in this area right now. All change, Anytime there's change, what is that old saying about opportunity always follows change? So, well, I thought I would see what is going on here in town with, and what do you know? I ran into the regent here in the bar. What kind of luck is that?
You've always been lucky you ran into us. And your arm's doing well? How's the business?
Oh, not so well. That's why I had to pick up and move. Things just, not so well. I can't tell you really why the coins haven't been flowing as much as they have, but, well, some of the rumors say war's coming. Can you believe that? It smells like war sometimes.
Oh, did you hear that, Vin?
I always rumors of war. Seems like it's always on the horizon. But Volvi, Dean, changes are coming. It's already here, actually. We'll do our best to make sure everyone feels at home here. I'm actually glad we have a dwarf in our companionship who's well, he's not had the best luck with meeting other dwarfs. So you want to come back to the castle with us tonight, Volvi? Maybe spend the night and chat with us further.
You notice as you're saying this, Bolby kind of gives you this, narrowed, kind of look. This other dwarf friend of yours, where's he from?
It's something with an M, I think. I don't remember. He doesn't talk about it much.
You notice Bolby takes a long drink of his ale in front of him, kind of slams it down. Yeah, that would make sense. Those damn Mercaladians give all dwarves a bad name.
Aye, that's what we've heard. But you should meet him. He's one of my best councilmen. He's a good friend.
You let a Mercaladian dwarf on your council?
He saved my life more times than I can count on my fingers, to be honest with you.
You notice Bolby looks up at you now, Dean, and he looks like a, can you believe this kind of look?
Well, when people need to be saved, and I'll tip my eyes at him, it's best just to not care where they're from, just to make sure that they're doing well, right? So we care for Tuvard. He's maybe would exceed your expectations for sure. He's a good man.
Well, I would have to tell you so many stories of all the times the Mercaladians have killed us dwarves, and you realize they ally with the goblins and the Orogs, right? You know that, right?
Actually, no, I don't.
What? You don't know that? Oh my goodness! You see, they live right next to Marcusor. They go when they join with them, and they try to fight against us. And oh my God, it's constant war. We've had so many lives lost. I can't believe you're a party with a Mercaladian.
Oh, sorry, I don't mean to upset you.
Aren't you glad you pulled that green card out?
Well, Tavard has been, he lived in the hamlet with us for years. I've known him quite a long time, and he's, he's just as ignorant to his own home as you are, really. He only left as a lad.
Can I add this here? You guys, since I did live there for 4 years, you guys would know that I ran away and escaped that other place. That would make sense to me. That's his background, is him and his dad his dad took him away from there. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we can add that, Vin, yeah.
So, and Vin will look at Bovi and go, I think he's aware of how bad his people's rep are, but, he needed sanctuary, or quiet little hamlet was a good spot for him, and, well, he's proven to be a great person. And one of the things that I'd like to change about Carolinian as a whole, Bovie, is just everyone to be allowed to have a voice. I mean, doesn't mean that we listen, but shit, you should be able to speak it.
You guys just don't understand. You see, some enemies are blood enemies. We've been fighting the Murkaladian dwarves for generations. It's something that's in our blood. When we see them, we kill them, and they do the same to us. That's never going to change because they're too hard-headed. They're too stubborn to ever listen to reason. They just react without even thinking.
Hmm.
Well, we cannot force you to change your opinion, Bovie, and that's one of the pleasures of being here. But I hope one day you get a chance to meet him, and perhaps he'll change your opinion at least about one of them. Either
So
way, it seems like I've got to get back home.
I'll step up and say, Bovie, you're acting absurd. I understand there's history, but he's my friend, and he's a good dwarf. He's never mentioned it. He got sent away from that clan by his dad, so he didn't experience what you're talking about. I think you've had a little too much to drink.
You see, he kind of looks at you and kind of sits back a little bit. You guys just don't understand the blood feuds, but, well, I hope you have your good Murkaladian friend and so forth. Just keep him away from me. That's all I say, right? And then everything will be fine.
Yeah, I think that's best. And yeah, we should be off then. All right, have a good night.
Tell
Have a
Belle I
joyful
said hi
day,
when you
Bovie.
see her.
I will.
And when I stand up, I'll kind of nod towards Destrian and Arthur and kind of tell them to come with me, and I'll wave to Fran. Fran, have a good evening. Thank you again for your patronage.
And she smiles and says, oh, yeah, yes, my lord. Have a great night.
I'll kind of wave and smile at everyone on my way out. When I get out, I'll kind of stretch and I'll look at Dean and I'll say, so Jason died, eh?
Yeah, I wasn't there. It was the story they told. He was very heroic. There was a banshee, is what they described, a great one. It was making all kinds of noises and things, and he fell, but they made it out, and with the ruins collapsing behind them, it was quite heroic. I think Blixel's going to write a song or something.
Well, I hate I missed it. But, you found the orb, I imagine? And I
Yeah,
start to walk towards the castle.
yeah, I'll walk with him. I'll be like, you shouldn't. You made the right choice, Count. It was very, very dangerous. 3 people were down. Many people were badly wounded when they finally emerged from the ruins. And we limped back for sure. Happy to have the breaths in our lungs.
All right, so as you guys are making your way back to the castle, then we've got both Blixel and Serena sleeping. Celine, you said you weren't sleeping. Anything particular you're doing in your room there in the castle? Oh, Celine is muted.
My bad, I had to cough. She'll stay up until Vin gets back. She assumes he will come to see her before everyone turns in. She assumes he'll wake her up, in fact. So she'll just stay awake anyway.
Okay,
She
fair enough. So
assumed
you kind of.
correctly.
All right, so then once Vin and Dean get back to the castle, then you're gonna try to collect Celine. Are you trying to like wake up Blixel and Serena, or you're letting them sleep?
No, I'll go gather everyone, and I'll be sure to bring some whiskey to Serena, and I'll when I approach Blixo, I'll have a good thing like a wedge of cheese, and
All
I'll go
right.
to acquire about Tavard, and I find him not there.
Did he kind of slink off? I don't think we saw him leave, did we? Or did he say anything to us?
I did. I said I feel like I'm gonna go get some religion or whatever. I mentioned that I was heading out. Want to go talk to a priest or something.
I think that means he's with a sex worker.
I don't think that's what that means.
Oh, that's what I heard other people say about it. But all right, this cheese is pretty good.
All right. Well, it's good to see all of you. I'm glad you're safe.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
read the report Celine is thrusting upon me, yes?
Yes, as usual, I kept a record of everything that happened. I'm sorry we didn't all make it back.
Aye. It's bad news about Jason. But he and his family knew when he signed up and requested the position what would be part of it. It does not make it easier. Since you're not able to recover his body, we won't be able to give him a proper burial, so we should think of something to celebrate his life.
He's pretty buried.
Same joke. Same brain cell.
Aye, but buried here.
Oh, was he from here?
His family was not from here, no, they were from far away, but his father over the years somehow worked his way into lower nobility status, but I would like to at least give them a place to go to remember their son and grieve.
Absolutely. We tried to save him, but the scroll, it just burned up. It was a dud.
Well, no more about that. And I lift up my wine glass and I kind of look to everybody. How about a cheers for your lives? Good job. I hear you found the orb.
Blixel cheers this with the cheese. Yeah, Serpentwind has it. But
Did he say where he was going?
it was house, I guess.
It's not from here.
He should be here in about an hour, actually.
He did
Did
say
not
he would
know he
come.
had. Did not know he had a home in the city. I thought he was a traveler who was visiting.
Well, Lord Tannen had the resources to put him in contact with us in the first place, so if he doesn't show up for tonight's meeting, I suppose we have ways of tracking him down. I will say that I did identify the orb before letting him run off with it, and I don't think it's anything we need to be overly concerned about if he were to stand us up, so to speak. It is certainly a powerful item, but not one that I think will, overthrow the kingdom, county, whatever the fuck this place is.
Province. But that's
Domain.
good news. Well, it seems we assisted someone, made us have a good reputation at least, I'm sure, as word will travel of you and your exploits. I think next we need to make sure Tavard is okay.
Yeah, he mentioned something about finding God.
Yes, that's
It just
disturbing.
worries me which one he's referring to.
Yeah, it's like 2 in one day. Relax.
Vin, have you seen Belle or any of my people?
In the 3 days they've been gone, Adam, has his trav mates arrived to the castle? Have I set them up in a home or anything, in a few rooms?
No, they have not arrived. Nobody's notified you of anything.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, Dean, but I have not heard of their arrival yet. Have you
Hmm.
heard anything in response to your message?
No, I have not a return message. I don't know if anyone else can do what I do, but I know I sent the message. I might send one out later.
Aye. And if you like, maybe we could send a few people out to that direction, make sure they're safe. But I've let the guards know to be on the lookout for your companions and your wife and child, and to allow them entry when they get here.
And just so you know, my lord, they're not going to take any formal positions. Maybe tend the gardens or have a nice apothecary plants or something. And I have a baby, so Belle will be occupied with all of that.
My friend, why have a castle if we don't fill it with voices of children?
And not to
People.
burden you, they could have the room next to mine. That's all I wanted to say, my lord.
Aye, it will be no burden. Well, look, you all look, well, you look like shit, friends. Perhaps we get some sleep. We'll check on Tavard in the morning. See if we could speak to, the, priest. I forget his name.
Yes.
Yes, sleep sounds very good.
I'll stay up and see if Serpent Wind for another hour to see if he shows up.
Oh, he's coming here. Okay, all right. Well, how about this? And I'll go and I'll fetch like a servant if anybody's still working at him.
Yeah, there's certainly servants around, not nearly as many as during the day hours, but yeah, you find one.
Can we get some, let's see, we'll grab a couple of bottles of wine and some for food. If you have anything hot prepared, meat especially, will you bring it to my room, please?
Grapes, my lord.
Fruit and whatnot, yes.
Yes, thank you. Yep.
But I know Serena will want meat.
Oh, my lord, I'm sure the kitchens are closed at this point, but I guess I could wake up the cook and have them prepare you something?
Aye, the council has just arrived back from their duties, and well, they certainly need a good meal. If you wouldn't mind, and tell the cook I'll be happy that he did so.
Yes,
Well, just
yes.
some turkey is fine.
You
Yeah, we
notice the
have
servant's eyes kind of dart back between all of you, but looks back towards you then. Yes, okay, I'll take care of that right away.
I'm just going back to bed. I could eat this cheese while I'm sleeping.
Vin, it's okay. We can wait. We can wait till morning. We still have some rations left to tide us over.
I will not allow that. I've been worried sick about you all for 3 days. Some of you are still bleeding. At least sit here, calm yourselves with food and beverage. We'll wait for Serpent Wind, and we'll have no more talk about this expedition. Instead, let's talk about something else. What should we do about old Helms? Remember his request about this trash filling the rivers? I've been thinking about it, and can't we enact some kind of law?
On what grounds, or what along what lines are you thinking?
Aye, well, we only get one province. It's bad enough that obviously the guilds are chopping down all of the trees, yada yada. We've been through that, but our rivers and sources of water being polluted is never safe for any reason. So perhaps we can enact a law that both helps this while also not pissing off the guild members. But I don't
The
think
rub
the
is
population would be upset about having a clean city, a clean province.
they might be upset about the measures that they need to take to make that happen, though.
Aye, and there'll be countermeasures to make sure they're reprieved from those grievances. But when we're in these positions, every time we make an action, we can't appease every party. But one thing I do know is that if we continue to poison our own rivers, well, that won't do any help.
So I'm getting the impression this is almost like picking up a little bit of business. I pictured you guys kind of just being in the halls of the castle. Do you guys want to move to like the council room, or is this just real quick chatter before everybody breaks to sleep?
I think we're ordering food. I'm agreeing with that, and I would love to sit down and have some food, and we could talk around the table. That was
Oh,
my.
I
Dining
had
hall.
put in the chat that we were like going back to my patio. We
Oh,
have been
okay.
using that as like more of like a private chambers.
Okay, yeah, that's
Oh,
fine.
God, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll be in the private on the patio and eating and relaxing.
Okay, so then, yeah, you guys make your way up to the patio as this conversation's going on. We know Blixel has bailed to go to sleep. We have the rest of you guys are going to the patio. Is that right? Besides, we know Tavern's locked away.
Closing my eyes.
I am.
All right, so I will assume the rest of you guys have gone to the patio. So, yeah, you guys are all there, kind of looking out at the night sky. It's a quick reminder based on current temperatures and all of that. Based on today's weather, it's a normal temperature day for this time of year. So right now you can think of it getting later. It's probably 44, 43 degrees, something like that. So a bit nippy, but yeah, you guys are out on the patio, probably bundled up to some degree. And after, say, 30 minutes or so, you guys are chatting. That servant and a couple of others do indeed come up with the platters of food that you've asked for. They set everything out as best they can. There's a few different cuts of meat, a bowl of fruit, some grapes, a few odds and end drinks kind of thing. They set those all at the table and then just quickly confirm if there's anything else you need before they make themselves scarce.
No, that will be all. Thank you. And tell the cook thanks as well.
And you notice the servant here gives you a quick curtsy, and then she and the other two make their way out pretty quickly.
Well, naturally, I would agree. We need to keep our waters clean.
Why don't we reach out to Dosone and see what they've done? Because it appears that they've already made a deal with that Triton or whatever and come to appraisal. So before he leaves, why don't we get a summary of the changes that they've made and see what we can do here similar?
That is true, and Dozone also facilitates guild activity, so whatever they're doing can't be too disruptive to their activities up there.
They are our neighbor, so it would be customary for us to reach out when the change of power happens, to at least say hello. Two birds, one stone, eh?
I suppose.
Please do not be peckish, Saline. Eat some food. So I assume we'll probably just chat and eat, Adam, but eventually we'll probably all go to bed, but...
So no serpent wind, huh?
You guys wait up for Mr. Serpentwind, but no, the guards tell you he never arrived.
I had told you, he did not have a home here.
I should have followed him in cat form.
It's no mistake. He's supposed to be meeting us in the morning, correct? If he does not show up to that one, then that is 2 meetings he has missed.
Yeah, I'm sure he just crashed.
I
It's
hope
possible,
that's the case.
but
Well then, if that's what we're waiting for, and it is no longer worth waiting for, then I will take my leave, and I'll bow. My lord, counsel, and I'll head off to bed.
All right, so after you guys eat, servants take care of this stuff. Anything particular anybody's doing before you guys sleep and reconvene in the morning?
I'll block my door with a chair, feeling paranoid.
All right, fair enough.
Last time.
All right, so then we will pass by another day here. You guys would get a long rest at this point. I'll go ahead and apply that. But it seems like things are kind of settling down a bit. You guys are, I assume, kind of like head to the throne room, see if Mr. Serpentwind shows up. Does that seem about right?
Yeah. I'm expecting him to be there. Come on.
I also, Adam, would have sent maybe a guardsman to, or something along those lines, a runner per se, to that church to see if Tavard is there and can we get an update on his care?
Okay, you tried to do that at night, or you're talking about in the morning?
In the morning, because I know that I have, duties and I can't run down there and check on them myself. So, as we're getting set up to wait for Serpentwind, I'll send someone down to see how he's doing and what's going on.
Okay, yeah, you do get your response from that messenger fairly quickly, and they let you know that he is indeed there, and he is currently seeking treatment or getting treatment for a unspecified condition.
I'll ask the guardsmen or whoever it was, is it unspecified because they wouldn't give it to you or because they do not know?
Well, they just said unspecified. They didn't really explain more.
That's fine. I did not ask you to be an inquisitor. I was only curious. Thank you.
He nods. All right, you guys find yourself in the throne room then, handling some little odds and end details. All right, so let's see. There's a few things I want to make sure we touch upon here. So yeah, all right, we're there. Okay, so obviously we're going to have potentially some downtime here between this and the next period of time. We'll discuss that in a moment. But yes, Mr. Serpentwind does indeed show up about 9 a.m. or so, and the guards let you know that Mr. Serpentwind's here. Are you ready to see him, kind of thing?
All right, bring him in.
All right, and the guards do indeed allow him to enter, but before they do, one of the guards comes up to you, Vin, and he says, I want to be really careful here, because I remember there was all this talk about no weapons and things. He didn't really have a weapon, but he has this like orb thing on him, and he said, nope, you're not taking this from me. After how much work I went to get it, you're definitely not taking this from me. Is that okay?
It is okay, and thank you for coming and requesting, permission about that. But yes, we need to see that orb, so it's imperative that he brings it.
The guard nods. Oh, okay. I just wanted to check. I'll bring him in. And then, sure enough, Mr. Serpentwind does indeed enter, and you see he has a smile on his face as he approaches. He says, "Oh my goodness, it is good to see you all again. I am so sorry about last night, but when I got home and I cleaned myself up a little bit, I couldn't even keep my eyes open. I sat on the bed and I was out like a light."
I feel ya. I felt the same way.
It's good to see you're safe, though.
Yes, it was a very dangerous journey, to say the least, but thanks to these brave companions and capable companions that you sent along, things went well enough. Of course, you understand we suffered a loss.
I will have to speak to his mother and father about it, but it sounds to me like it was unavoidable. You tried your best to make sure everyone made out of it alive, and if it wasn't for some of your cunning, perhaps there would have been more casualties. So I have nothing but thanks for you, John Serpentwind.
He nods. Oh, yes, my lord. I'm very glad to be of service, and I'm very glad that you were of such great service to me, and our agreement has been fulfilled. I have taken possession of the orb, and your team have found a few different interesting things inside the ruin, so I hope this was a satisfactory conclusion for everybody.
Aye. We have a motto amongst our groups. We didn't die. So, even though we lost a member,
He kind of winces a little bit as you say that.
I put my hand up and I say, even though you lose a member, it's still important to remember that your life is also important. So, happy to see you made it, and relatively that everything made it back okay. And it does seem like my companions here and the fellow council members are satisfied with what they found, and they tell me that that orb does not seem to be a danger to us in any way.
No, of course not, my lord. As much as I said when I first asked for your assistance in this matter, it is an item that boosts magical potential and powers, but it is certainly nothing that you should be concerned about from any kind of region-wide negative effects or anything like that.
Aye. And I know as your duties as a researcher, you often come across things that you, find interesting. Now that you've found this particular item, I'm sure later in the future you may come across another that you would like to seek. I ask you come back for our help.
I would be most grateful to be able to count on your assistance once again. I can honestly say I would be willing to go into almost any dangerous place if I have these folks on my side.
That's good news. What are your next plans?
Well, for right now, I have to continue to take care of some odds and ends here and Well, I don't know exactly what my next plans are, to be honest. I've been seeking this orb for so long that now that I have it, it's almost like, well, a time to rest and relax, at least for a bit, before I figure out exactly what my next plans are, I suppose. Did you have any service of me that you needed that I should keep in mind?
I do actually. While you all have been gone, I've been looking over our notes here from our Grand Archivist about these petitioners we have. There's a particular one that involves the mountains, and, well, it appears that some Fomorian giants may be traipsing across them, stirring up, grouping up. Some people find it scary amongst the edge of the mountains. I was wondering if maybe in your downtime you could help us come up with some information about these giants. Anything you may know or come across we could find important, I'd like to know about it.
I see. I can say I'm not an expert on those by any stretch of the imagination. I could certainly do some kind of research for you if that is what you would like. I hate to even broach the subject, but such work is very time intensive. I would need to have a budget for expenses and things, but if that's something you're willing to entertain, then yes, I'm sure I could put some time to it.
I did not ask you because I didn't think you would do it for free. I knew this, and I've already spoken to Lord Tannen, and I'll look over at Lord Tannen. He will get with you and think of something that's appropriate and fair, and then you will present it before the council, obviously, for full approval, and at which point we will proceed. We do not have the resources to take on a Fomorian giant army if there is one right now, so we'll need time anyways.
He nods.
But you are a skilled researcher, and we could use those abilities.
I am indeed, and I will see what I can find. I will also say, just keep in mind that there may be other individuals, perhaps even some of my colleagues, that would be better to take on this particular task because their background study is more in creatures and so forth. Mine is more in archaeology, ruins, ancient history, that sort of thing. So while I could do this work, I can't say that I would be the best at it. If it's something that you wish to keep under wraps, so you're asking me to do this as a way of making sure it doesn't get anywhere, then I would be honored to take this on for you, but I certainly don't want to overstate my level of expertise in the subject matter.
Aye. Well, I look over at Celine. We have someone who's of expert knowledge in researching in their own right. But Serpentwind, I think that the main thing is that we're trying to keep this at least somewhat quiet. I already heard from just a local last night that they smell war, and if that begins to become smelt throughout the entire province, well, you can see how that may, well, mm, arise fear. So, if you don't mind, I think it'd be okay if you at least gave it a shot, and if you could learn anything about their culture or civilization, how they commune, well, that would still be pertinent information if we're going to try to infiltrate their society and make sure they don't cause harm to our province.
He nods. I would be happy to assist you with this then, giving those terms. Let me put together a proposal for you, and I will certainly get it to Lord Tannen for your review.
I'll look over at the council members. Any objections, council?
No, and I'm gonna get up and excuse myself and walk outside for a further discussion with Adam, and then yeah, sounds good to me, and I'll just casually walk out.
All right. If there's nothing else from Mr. Serpentwind, he will certainly take his leave.
So what I was thinking, Adam, and I wanted to. It seems like a good time to try it. So I want to animal friendship or bird I see, and then I want to use a spell. It's been a long rest, so I switched up my spells. I want to use a spell called Animal Spy. My intentions is to, animal friendship with a bird, and then animal spy, burning spell slots, so it happens right away, and just, I don't know, try to follow him.
Oh, try to follow Mr. Serpentwind?
It seems like a lot. I should probably just find familiar, but but
If you want to go ahead, I'm familiar with Animal Friendship, but if you want to go ahead and post Animal Spy, I'm assuming that's one of the new ones.
yeah.
Okay, so based on timing, let me say this. How about we go and take our 15-minute break, and then I'll have a much better answer for you on the backside of the break. So,
Hey, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Nice.
all right, perfect. See everybody back in 15.
See ya.
Guys.
Alrighty, folks, we are back on the other side of our session here. So, okay, Dean, so the spells you mentioned were Animal Friendship and then Animal Spy. So, reading over Animal Friendship, it allows you to essentially, a beast that's close to you, you convince it that you mean it no harm. I don't see that it gives you any way of communicating with the beast, right? So it's charmed by you, but it's not like you can speak to it and it can speak back with you. Do you have separate magic that would allow you to talk to animals?
No, it's just pure spell interpretation. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so you could basically make it, realize you don't mean to harm it, and then you could cast Animal Spy, but then Animal Spy doesn't allow you to control where the beast goes, right? So you would only get to see out of wherever let's say you find a bird, you cast both of these spells, then wherever the bird happens to fly off to, you'd be able to see it, but certainly it's not going to follow Mr. Serpentwind just on random chance. So,
Yep.
yeah, okay. So I would say, and again, trying to piece together all the timing of this as well, it would be a real narrow window. I get what you're going for, but yeah, I think something like Find Familiar would be better, which I think as a druid, can't you just burn a use of Wild Shape for Find Familiar?
I don't know. I know Find Familiar is not on the spell list.
And you can. It's called Wild Companion. So you substitute your Wild Shape. You just burn a use of Wild Shape to essentially bring a Find Familiar without the material stuff. I think it's Fey. But yes, you should be able to do that.
Oh, I see it now. You gain the ability to summon a spirit, animal form. Okay, you cast a spell in this way. The familiar is Fey instead of beast, and the familiar disappears after a number of hours equal to half your druid level, so for 2 hours. I wouldn't be able to see through his eyes, though, right? Like, that's not the point.
It works just like the Find Familiar spell, so yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me burn that for a bird. Just try and do that. I'm gonna have a seat on the stool somewhere. I'll look like I'm comatose, but maybe my friends will recognize me.
Fair
But
enough.
yeah, if I
Okay.
could do that, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so while it's within 100 feet of you, you can communicate with it telepathically. So and it says additionally as an action, you can see through the eyes until the start of your next turn.
Okay.
So basically, I'm trying to kind of ballpark this, right? So you conjure a familiar bird. You say, hey, go follow Serpentwind, right? You tell it to follow Serpentwind. It follows him for a period of time. Once he's 100 feet away from the castle, then you wouldn't be able to communicate with him any longer. And then the way, I don't remember it being worded this way, but the way it's worded, additionally as an action, you see through your familiar's eyes and hear what it hears until the start of your next turn. So basically, you could keep doing that, right, each turn, but then once he's 100 feet away, then you would no longer be able to do that. So I would say you see Serpentwind walking through the city. He doesn't go to any particular building, like he's following a road, like with a lot of other people and things. But once he gets beyond 100 feet, you then no longer see him and you can't communicate with your bird.
Okay, that sounds good. I burned a wild shape to do that. Thanks.
Okay, so yeah. All right, so then team, is there, you guys kind of reconvene?
Couldn't he click back to his normal self and then follow the path from 80 feet behind and just keep going back and forth?
I could, yes, but I didn't want to leave the castle.
Oh, okay, I see.
Okay, so once you guys reconvene then, I want to go through a few things. Again, our intention here is to do kind of a time skip, right, for almost a month's worth of time. And we've got a few different things that we're going to do in that downtime. But first of all, I want to do a quick review of you guys' previous petition or decisions and make sure that you guys and I are on the same page as far as what's outstanding. So as far as the armorer goes, you guys agreed to her basically like a middle path where you were going to agree to like a certification thing and someone could post a sign saying they're certified, but not that it would prevent anybody from selling if they're not certified. So that's sort of a done task, or it's in the works, you could say. The innkeeper, you guys allowed him to name his inn after Vin's brother. Gizelex, you're waiting to hear back because you funded her expedition. You guys didn't pay for the ship. Now, for Katrine McKinnon, remember, this is the one who wanted to target you kind of got the impression she wanted to rob people. She said she wanted to target people that were breaking the law, but you kind of really didn't see eye to eye with her that. You thought maybe there was something else to that. I have a note here that says you guys wanted to address this in some way, but was there a specific action you wanted to take about this?
Well, based on my notes, she spoke in thieves' cant, and I picked up on it.
Yes.
So my impression is that she's trying to, and she's super young. So I think what we were thinking about is having some way of like following her or spying on her to make sure she doesn't do anything bad.
Okay, so does that mean you wish to hire somebody to tail her? Give me a better idea of what you're trying to do, and we can figure out how many resources and stuff this would take.
What do you guys think?
I think there's too many thieves out there in the world to go ahead and focus on one person.
All right, sounds like that's one motion for no action. Any disagreements? All right.
Nope. Sounds good to me. Don't want to waste any extra resources on it.
Okay, so I'm marking that one as no action. The next one was Emmeline Cleves looking to get a promotion about the captain of the guard. You guys spoke with her, basically said there was nothing you were going to do about this right now, and that you were going to gather more information, and if something should change, you'd let her know. But again, no specific action, right? All right, moving on to Gavin Boulderdown. You guys struck an agreement with him. He said that he, on behalf of the church, would agree to have the region of Cariele blessed if you guys would, or Vin specifically, would sort of swear an oath. You agreed to that, so I'm assuming that's something that will happen during the downtime. Dwali Greybelt was the dwarf who's looking for allies to enter the tunnels under the Stormcrown Mountains. My note here says you guys wanted to meet him again. Is this something you guys are good, saying, hey, postpone this to the next official court session in 1 month's time?
Yeah, I think we wanted to keep that in our pocket as another adventure to do, but
okay.
We chose the other one instead because of the treasure and stuff.
Yep, fair enough. So I'm going to assume you basically said, hey, we would be willing to discuss this with you again at the next court session, and he was okay with that, so he's kind of hanging around town. Next one was the bard who wanted his friend released. My note here says, get more info. So is there anything in particular you guys were trying to learn more about this? He wanted his friend released from prison. He was in prison on charge of lewd conduct.
Yeah, a description of why he was arrested, who he is and stuff.
Okay, so you'd easily be able to learn that he was basically accused of, say, taking clothes off and inappropriately groping people in a bar and, going up to women and kissing them and that sort of thing.
I think we also established that I think it was Dean knew the guy who sentenced him. So
yeah,
I think
that's
there was
true.
something there about communicating with that person to
yes.
Yeah.
You guys sent a note to Lord Autumnbane, but you didn't ever hear anything back from him.
Yeah, I imagine keep him locked up if that's the charges he's accused with.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm going to assume, again, no action then. Nothing special you're doing. Next one was the Weaver. She wanted her 31 gold pieces returned because it was stolen from her. You guys told her no because that's a matter for the guards, not something you're going to take up with the court. Destrian Light, we discussed this one earlier. You guys agreed you did hire him, so he is a bodyguard on your staff now. Miss Lindsay Darkdraft, you guys said you wanted her to submit an itemized list of her expenses to find this path through the Stonecrown Mountains into the Lost Realm. So we'll see if she gets back to you during the skippage of time. Obviously, I'll let you know if that happens. The next one was the juggler, Oren Nelianther. He wants to be hired. He wants 5 gold per day. I don't have a note on this one. I think you guys basically said Blixel told him to learn how to juggle short swords and then he could come back, right?
It ended up being daggers at the end, but yeah. Blixel didn't like them, so he made him jump through some hoops.
Okay, fair enough. So we'll see if he comes back after that request. Moving on to the private meeting request, Yelmes Lamix. wants to prevent dumping in the river. I don't have a specific thing you guys are doing here. I heard you guys chatting earlier that you potentially want to reach out to Thozone and see what they did with this.
I think that's the best idea now. But isn't the guy still in town? He said he would be here for a week before he went back.
Yes. Now keep in mind, we are going to be skipping about a month. So if there's specific action you want to take before then, you'd have to let me know now.
Yeah, just any of his knowledge about, like we would summon him back for like a meeting, and he would give us all the details about their contract with Dozone and what they're doing and how it's set up, and then we would let him know that we were going to work on implementing something similar here, but we needed to, figure out the best approach. So, I would just say, if he can give us an idea of how Dozone is doing it, then we'll come up with a way to follow it.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm going to assume you've summoned him back, got a bit more information, and then told him you would look into it, essentially is what this boils down to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next guy was Boren Hall. You guys turned his request for prisoners down. Usk was the next one. He said he hears a lot of the voices. You guys learned a bit that there might be some giants up in the mountains. Maybe they're coming down. You guys said, maybe you would help, but again, nothing specific at this point, right?
No, I think this one I'm for sure interested in checking out eventually, but there's not really like a very imminent time crunch on it. It doesn't seem so.
Okay, fair enough. So essentially this boils down to, yes, you heard what he had to say, but didn't take any specific action. All right, next one was the guy that wanted to sell you the magic item. You guys turned him down. Obviously, Mr. Serpentwind, we know what happened with him. Dr. Caspau, you guys said that potentially you wanted to send some folks to assist him in setting up these sort of like quarantine areas in the slums of Carolinian. I guess what I'm looking for here is give me an idea of how much resources you're willing to put toward this. And when I say that, fractions of a gold bar, the lowest you can go is a quarter, half, 1, 10, however many you want to put towards this.
Didn't he say that the guild had a warehouse that was big enough for us to be able to rent? And
he did, but you would have to pay for it, of course.
Yeah. So we would inquire about that price, of course, and then we also said that we would ask around for help from some of the other people in the area. So maybe if we could get an idea of which price would be better.
So, yeah, go ahead, Tavern.
I was gonna say, when we say other people, I think weren't we gonna hire another doctor to go in and do a second assessment or something like that?
Yeah, good point.
Okay, so I will say, as far as renting the location from the guild, again, everything's kind of based on monthly timeframes for this. So if you're wanting to rent this warehouse from them for a month's time, they would charge you a gold bar for a month's use of their warehouse.
Okay. Let me pull up our sheet. All right, we've got 19 gold bars. I think it's important so sickness doesn't travel through the city, but if we hire an additional doctor into that, Adam, does it change the price?
So again, a doctor's salary wouldn't be a ton compared to what the guild is asking you for. If you're just like, say, you're putting the word out, like anybody that is a doctor, we would like to hire you, come, we can kind of fast track that a bit. I would probably say a single doctor could be folded into your domain maintenance. It wouldn't be like an actual price, meaning it doesn't have a massive impact just hiring one doctor. Now, again, if you want to put more money towards like an initiative, then everything is gauged based on how much money you're spending for the most part.
Yeah, I think hiring one doctor to confirm, because we were told that this guy's a bit of a worrywart, right? I think it's best for us to just get confirmation that it's a real issue. We'll start setting up preliminary measures, and if it starts to get worse, then we can use the next month to really throw an initiative together.
Okay, fair enough. So Vin, throw me a D20. I'm going to assume you guys asked another doctor for his opinion. He went to the slums, did a quick gauge of what's going on down there. came back, and yes, his opinion is that Dr. Caspo is indeed a worrywart, and this is a very minor thing that is common in the city and unlikely to cause any kind of major catastrophe.
Okay, then we are not going to spend the gold bar then.
Okay, so you guys don't rent the warehouse from the guild, and you take no other action about this in specific. Okay, last one on the list was Esme West. She was a procurer of knowledge. She said she would offer her services to you guys for 3 gold a day. You guys said maybe you would put her to some particular task, but again, I'm looking for a final answer on this one.
Whatever happened to the woman we apprehended? Is she
Oh,
still?
I was waiting to see if someone remembered that. So yes, if you will recall, she fled the castle, and you guys were trying to track her down, and it turned out that she never actually made it off the castle grounds. She was apprehended and put in a cell, and she's been there ever since.
Yeah, didn't we tell her that was her audition?
I know some of you guys speculated that maybe you would do that, but again, I never saw like a yes, we want to hire her.
Someone suggested that they wanted to talk to her first before sticking the torture on her. I think that was Tavard.
Yeah,
Tavard's locked up in the church right now. Just kidding.
And we don't know if it's a torture. We've always said this.
Yeah, potential spy master is what I have written down. So we're trying to see if we can convince her, instead of being a procurer of knowledge, if we can get her to be a spy master for us.
And if you want that, she said she'd be willing to do that, but the cost would be much higher, if you remember.
And she also said that's not her specialty, too.
Right.
But she would do it.
I kind of want to see her work to see if this is something we can like morally get behind. So maybe we talk to the attacker woman, see if we come to a unsatisfying conclusion with that conversation, then we can pay her for like a day or 2 or whatever, however long it takes her to do that. It's like a per diem bonus? I don't fucking know business terms, but pay her to do the thing and let us watch her do it to make sure she's not like stepping over any lines that we're unwilling to cross.
Okay, fair enough. So is there...
Can I interject? So she's the daughter of the cook. She's the family of the people inside our castle. Is that correct?
She is a friend of one of the busybodies who doesn't actually work in the kitchens. She's so if you remember, Sybil's like a retired old woman, and she hangs out in the kitchens. You kind of got the impression she does that 'cause she doesn't have other friends. Her husband died, so that's just like what she does for social purposes. And she made friends with Minerva, who is the knight that you guys fought in the castle when Minerva attacked Cerilia.
Okay, so same risk reward. So if this goes badly, then the busybody, as Adam described her, will be quickly to spread rumors that we're torturing people in prison and having would be a negative impact, I would think, to our impression as the new council. So, and in addition, I think we know why Minerva did what she did. I don't think potentially, of course, there could be more information to it, but that, to me, that's the risk reward for that move.
Yeah, but there's no way that Sybil would find out. She's not like a high-ranking official. You know,
but she's a busybody.
Yeah, but we kicked her out of the kitchen. She's not even on castle grounds anymore.
She's not?
No, she's long gone.
No. You guys have not kicked her out. Remember, Blixel went to the kitchens and spoke with her and was like, how would Minerva get in here? Did you let her in? And she said, I sure did. And he said, don't do that anymore. So he told her, don't do it. But she wasn't like kicked out or anything.
But then the next day she was like putting up a big protest and yada yada, and so didn't we kick her out? I thought I remembered that we kicked her out.
I don't remember that.
I don't recall her being officially like escorted or prevented from coming back onto the ground.
Yeah, well, she's kicked out, and her description is given to all the guards. She's not allowed back in to be a busybody and get in our affairs. She's already proven that she can't be trusted because she had tried to hide it. So yeah, that would be something that Vin would have pushed forward for sure. I thought we had done it, which is why I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, you're the regent. You can definitely do that. So yes, I will add a note that she is no longer persona non grata for the castle.
Yeah, she's banned from entry, and then there's no way that she would be able to learn what we're doing to Minerva because she wouldn't know that Minerva was arrested.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that was just a risky word. I thought she was still there, and that might, cause rumors inside our house. Then yeah, as we monitor her, I say we hire that person to interrogate her, Minerva, for sure, but under supervision, as Saline has rightfully so said.
Yeah, and I also have in my notes too that we decree. Somebody had mentioned it, but we decree another law we want to throw out there is about use of magic on castle grounds.
Okay, so let's do these one at a time. So with Minerva, I heard Saline say, somebody talk with her, and if you don't get what you want, then hire Esme to procure the knowledge. Does somebody on this team want to volunteer to be the first point of contact to try to talk to Minerva?
Someone with that has the skill set to do it. Quote, wink, wink. I do not.
Right. Well,
I
Finn
mean,
is
I can be persuasive, but I think you need to be a little more hardcore than that for this.
I don't think intimidation is the way to go, Blixel. She's already imprisoned. I think we need to persuade her to understand where she's coming from, if she was sent by anyone. And then we need to be able to sweet talk her into keeping her mouth shut about what she saw.
There's no way she's going to do that. She's a true believer of Zealot. We talked to her. She said we were unclean by being associated with Serena. So either we break her to get information out of her, or we use some kind of magic or something like that. But even then, it's like, what information are we going to get besides just the location of the temple that sent her here?
That's fair. But I'd rather at least approach the situation without a heavy hand at first, and then that way Esme has a place to start from if we're to use her, right? She's the one to come in and do any breaking. But from us, our faces, then maybe we are polite, ask questions, because we are the ones that beat her to shits too.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
We
Yep.
hear
Yeah.
you, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, great. Yeah. Serena, I volunteered to talk to her. I mean, she, wants some answers, but I don't really know what exactly our goal is to get out of interrogation.
Well, I would like to know where she came from and if this is going to be like a regular thing, like if she was working for him and as like an agent or something and she doesn't come back, they might send more. No?
Yeah, she shouted out something about Kurasayan.
It'd be good to know how many people know that Serena is undead.
All right, so
Exactly.
Serena, you're the one that's going to do the interrogation. The one that so you're basically going up to the lady that like almost murdered you and be like, "Hey, I want some answers."
Yeah, but this time
yeah.
she's not tied to a bed.
All right,
Table
excellent. So we're going to treat this as a skill challenge, Serena. So what I'm going to ask is you to pick 3 skills that you think could apply in this situation. Tell me how you're using each of these 3 skills, and then you're going to make your 3 skill checks. You can make these publicly, and if you pass at least 2 of them, so 2 successes, 1 failure is fine. If you pass at least 2 of them, then we will move forward.
Would it be possible for Blixel to give bardic inspiration for any of this as she's like going down there to do it?
If he's going to be part of the interrogation, sure.
Come on down.
All right, sure.
All right, so we have Serena and Blixel entering the cell. You speak with the guards. They obviously know who you are. They direct you to the cell where Minerva is. You notice Minerva is kind of sitting on the ground here against the back end of her cell. These cells are obviously not very luxurious at all. They're basically boxes 10 feet by 10 feet, not much inside whatsoever. It's very shorn of any kind of decoration. She's just kind of sitting in this very small bit of like prison cloth, gear or clothing, and she's sitting with her back against the wall. You guys approach. She kind of looks up, and you guys, start basically chatting her up, trying to get some information. And this is where the skill challenge will come into play. So, Serena, pick a first skill that you think you'll use here to try to move this forward.
Just before they get rolling into it, I just, I know the one thing we don't want to worry about is this big secret getting out or anything like that. So Vin would have asked the guards to give them some kind of private area or something another, or at least pull the guards back a little bit so they're not sitting there listening to the conversation.
Okay, so you're asking basically the guards to exit that area. Now, obviously, you understand there's other prisoners around. So, are you trying to get her to a totally private area, like have the guards move her to a different secured area?
Yeah.
Put her in the box.
Yeah,
Okay.
like an interrogation chamber with a two-way mirror. We'll be on the other side.
All right, you take her to solitary then and throw her in there. And all right, so we'll assume the two of you and Minerva are in this slightly larger room.
So, Serena knows that she's obviously afraid of the fact that she's undead, so she's going to use that as part of her intimidation, and rather than attempt to use logic, she's going to prey on her fears.
Okay, and I assume this means you're admitting that you're an undead and you're weaving this into your conversation as you try to intimidate her.
Yeah, because there's nobody else around.
All right, fair enough. And Blixel, are you doing anything on this?
She's just gonna refer to it as her condition, not say the words undead or anything. She's just gonna be like, I have a condition, that's setting off that.
I know you know about my condition, and my condition means at any moment I might have to just unleash my condition on you, something like that.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Blixel's just going to do good guard, bad guard. And he's going to be like, I don't know if I can hold her back. You better tell her what she wants to know.
All right, Serena, go ahead and make an intimidation check, and then if you wish to burn the inspiration on that one, Bardic Inspiration, you can. Okay, I will tell you that one succeeds. You don't need to burn the inspiration. You can see as you're speaking to her and you're saying these kind of words, her back is already kind of against the wall, and she's trying to hold this really resolute face, but you can tell she's kind of a bit more nervous. You can see the hairs on the end of her arms kind of start standing up a bit. You definitely seem like you've rattled her.
That was going to be my second skill, was looking for any little twitch or perceiving any sort of body language that she might be trying to hide. So I wanted to do perception.
I don't think that's going to help you in this regard, because even if you see it, that's not going to do anything for you, right?
Can I just do 3 intimidation checks?
No, unfortunately not. It has to be 3 different skills. But for some ideas, I see you're good at athletics. If you want to pick her up and be like, this is the kind of things that I could do. I could see that being in athletics.
Yeah, I'll display my strength and try to scare further.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and make an athletics check. Yep. Okay. So you're able to pick her up very easily. Again, she's fairly weakened at this point, so you don't even need to make a third check. That's 2 successes. You are eventually, after kind of showing this show of force and really, giving her the business, she does kind of spill her guts a bit at this point. This sort of steely resolve of, I'm this divine warrior and I don't have to answer to you kind of fades away. And she explains to you that she is from a very small sect in the Five Peaks. There is a temple to Cariele there. It is very small. There's not much in the way of followers there. It's kind of dying out. But she was from there, and she had this encounter with an individual known as the Eyeless One in the Five Peaks. She had to ask him for some help, which is a very dangerous proposition. He is a well-known wizard in the area that is has a lot of negative things known about him by the locals. They say he lives in a tower, and anybody that goes to seek his help, they often hear the screams of victims coming from inside the tower, but he's also known to be very, very powerful. And she mentioned she basically went there as sort of a last resort to get his assistance in helping her temple here kind of prosper. And he said that, he would do so as long as she would pay the price. She, basically asked, what is this price? He cast a spell upon her, and part of this was sort of melded with her own thoughts of, trying to fight against evil, fight the good fight. And it instilled upon her this compulsion to essentially destroy undead. So when she spotted you and her journeys, she felt very much compelled to attack you.
Okay. She doesn't anymore, though?
Well, right now she doesn't. But then again, she's terrified with no weapons and no gear and just got, shooken up a bit, so...
Okay.
Can I get the name of that wizard?
Yes.
Can I clarify that he sent her to the capital to hunt undead, or?
No. So he did not send her anywhere. To the best of her knowledge, he used some kind of magic, and she felt very much compelled. She explains that there's kind of like gaps in her memory after her encounter with the Eyeless One. She knows that she left his tower and she was traveling through the Five Peaks a bit more, eventually made her way to Cariele, and she killed undead on the way, she explains. And then once she got into Carolinian specifically and spotted you, she felt that compulsion really take her over to slay undead, which she targeted you.
So what was her business for coming to Cariele in the first place?
So the way she describes it to you is that she was on this quest to kill undead. So think of this as she's moving through the countryside of the Five Peaks. She travels for like a day. She sees if she sees any undead. If she does, she kills them. She then goes and sleeps. She wakes up the next day. She keeps moving. So she's basically just on a straight line almost away from the Five Peaks, and that took her to Carolinian eventually. Once she got into Carolinian is when she spotted you. So it's sort of like she can't tell you exactly why a lot of this is the way it is. She presumes some of it is to do with the magic.
It sounds odd that she ended up in a city rather than a crypt or something. And like, how does she feel that her sect is thriving now without her there to like keep it going?
She doesn't know. Even after she secured this aid from the Eyeless One, she doesn't know if he did anything actually to help her sect at all. She believes that he should have because she made the agreement, but she never even went back to the sect after speaking with him at his tower.
Man, that sounds like a raw deal.
So you're telling me they have no idea she's here, and she has no help coming?
That seems likely, Blixel.
Well, to be fair, you tried to kill my friend, so you gotta stay locked up at least for a little bit here.
She seems resigned to her fate. She's not overly emotional. She just kind of looks at you and doesn't seem to put up much of an argument, and assuming Serena lets her go, she just kind of slumps to the ground again and puts her back against the wall and has this kind of despondent look on her face.
We'll have to discuss with the Count and see what your appropriate punishment is, but is the Eyeless One's tower in the Five Peaks?
She nods.
Can you draw us a little map for that, please?
Specific instructions.
Are you providing her parchment and some kind of ink or something?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, she kind of jots down some really brief instructions and does a half-assed job at a map, I will say. You're not sure if this is because she's not really trying or just because she's not really good at drawing maps. Could be one or the other. But looking at this, you can tell that the tower to the eyeless one is not at the edge of the five peaks. It is like in the center of the five peaks. So it is, and I can give you a province name here. It is somewhere on the border between Touraine, Suffany, and Thasbrin. It is somewhere in like the hills and the forested area there. She describes it as being lit by flashes of eerie dark light. And she describes that in dealing with the Eyeless One, you often hear heart-wrenching screams from those in debt to him who he has taken possession of and placed in his tower.
Okay, I guess we'll have to look into that, and I'm gonna tell her that she's gonna have to stay here for another month while her fate is decided.
She does not react when you tell her this.
And Blixel, do you have any other questions for her?
No, but could you like search her one last time before the guards bring her back, just to make sure she didn't steal a stylus or something to break out?
Sure.
I don't want to search her. She's a lady, you know.
I pat her down.
Give me a blind check now, Serena.
This you could use the bardic, right?
What do you think
You
she
could, yep.
you think she keistered your quill?
Or something. I don't know.
Would you like to use the bardic inspiration on that, Serena?
Yeah, would that be
It's a D6.
You do a pat down, you check her for anything, and you're quite confident she has nothing on her.
Then I'll have her return to her usual cell.
Okay. Once the guards bring her back there, you notice, just like before, she just kind of slumps at the ground, puts her head against the back wall, and just kind of closes her eyes as her head's partially tilted up. Okay, so... Yeah, go ahead, Serena.
I'm going to report our findings back to the group and say, obviously this eyeless one is more concerning than she is, but at the same time, I don't know how we can know that she's not going to just keep trying to slay undead for some reason.
Well, we can decide her punishment in maybe a council session. But I think we have reason to hire Esme to interrogate her. We should see what information she can get. Anything about this eyeless one, the exact location, the interior, the layout of his map, what he looks like, any pertinent details, and we can decide what to do with him from there.
You said that she thinks he cast some sort of spell on her. I know it may not be exactly what you want to hear, but to some extent it sounds like she's a victim in this as well. If you're concerned about her attempting this again, we might try to look for some way to lift whatever is affecting her, if indeed something like that is possible.
I agree. That's what my thoughts were too. Do we move a curse or something? And then she'd be very grateful for that.
Well, that's a good point and all, but she sought him out. She was well aware of his dangers, it sounds like, and she knew what she was getting herself into. So when you seek that kind of power, well, this is the result.
And she's living with it.
Out of desperation for the preservation of her organization. Is that not something similar to something those among us have done? She looks at Dean.
I agree. Perhaps she might be a strong ally.
My biggest concern for her fate is whether or not she's a danger to anyone else. So I am a big fan of attempting to remove the spell so that she won't be as, a danger to people. Like myself. But I don't. I could go back down there and talk to her again. I didn't get the impression that she was like holding out information. So, personally, as the aggrieved party, I do not see the need for torture.
The aggrieved party.
Well, she didn't say she tortured either. She just said she got information somehow, and we'd have to see how she did it.
And that's the point. We want to hire this woman, so this is a great time for us to observe her interaction to gain this knowledge. And we gave her specifications. We do not want to be associated with such blasphemous measures of attaining knowledge, which is why she is having a tryout, so to speak, because this word torture work keeps being thrown out, but it's never been confirmed that these are her methods. I mean, we've seen magic do a lot of great things, and I'm sure it could, if it could compel someone to leave their home and abandon all of the people that they were trying to protect to seek a new goal, well, we should be prepared against that kind of magic in case it turns its eye to us.
I mean, I still think it was a euphemism for unorthodox methods, but if you guys want to figure out what those are, sure.
We have to figure out if we're going to hire this woman or not.
Yeah, we got to try her out some way.
All right, and again, I want to remind you guys that her salary is 3 gold a day, because that obviously won't add up to a quarter of a gold bar or more. This would have to come out of someone's personal salary or personal gold, right? So you guys can decide to divide it amongst yourself. One of you guys can pay it, however you wish to do that.
I have plenty to cover it.
Yeah.
We're gonna have her for I guess for the remainder of this month or whatever. She's gonna try to get whatever knowledge she can from her, or is it just gonna be one instance that we pay her for a day, or what do we think?
I think she said we had to keep her on retainer, basically.
Right, exactly.
Oh, then I don't have it.
So basically, you would have to pay her at least a month, right? And in this world, months are 32 days, I believe. Quickly checking the calendar. Yes, 32 days. So you'd be looking at 96 gold pieces. Now, again, as a reminder, this is technically a court cost, and one of the free actions that you could do next turn is convert a gold bar into gold pieces, right? But again, you could convert like a quarter of a gold bar, basically meaning you're taking out 500 gold from the treasury, and you could use part of it on this. But if you use the other part for, hookers and blow, then you might piss people off.
Yeah, but we could also just take that same thing and put it back in there later on.
You can, as long as at least a quarter of a gold bar. Yep.
Yeah, and we also need the council members need to get paid, so that may be appropriate too.
I don't see the need for her, but that's my vote.
Can I ask why?
I'll just go ahead and answer. It's because she thinks you guys are just trying to fill out some sort of fetish. So.
if we need to like I don't understand what she offers that me intimidating somebody can't achieve.
Well, that's why we don't know. She was cagey about what she actually does.
And then also you have to remember, as a councilwoman, you can't just assume the responsibilities of Inquisitor and then now that's your job all the time either. So we'll need someone to fill that position. And also she mentioned that even though it's not her strong suit, she is familiar with spycraft, and we need to bring in people that can work with us against the guild and other outside forces, domestic and foreign.
I think for 96 gold, should just do it just to see, and then I'm gonna try to make money in my downtime.
There may be some children you can get off the streets and torture them as well, just to see how well it works. Maybe they're not good at just torturing one type of person.
Why do you guys think it's torture? When did that be established?
Okay,
because she won't say what it is. That's why.
Yeah, but then you're just making assumptions, But she could have magical abilities that she doesn't want to just proclaim.
She had a very unique whip or rope around her waist that we had to pay particular note to.
Well, like the lasso of truth?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that this particular person is giving us any information we want, but, you know, I guess that's my other whole thing for this is like, how often does this even come up? Like, anyways, but it just it seems like an unnecessary expense to me. But if I'm outvoted, sure, go ahead.
I hear what you're saying though, but it'd be good to test her.
What if we give her like a month and like a probationary period, like your 90 days, and see if she works out? Would she be amenable to that?
Yeah, the shortest amount of time you can hire her for is 1 month. If after the month you say we don't need your services anymore, you're fine with that.
We could have her torture the lewd bard too to see if he actually did all that stuff.
I understand it may not be super meaningful right now, but just you talking to her, just in that instance right there, we learn that there's a powerful enemy that's our neighbor. And, she feels like she wasn't compelled or anything like that. But the more knowledge we get about any enemies that are around us, whether it's this one, whether it's someone else in the future who like maybe comes and tries to like VAR, for instance, who tries to start like when we have criminals like that, we need to get the information of what, when, where, and why. And sometimes those can be shady, but at least we're not doing what the guy before us was doing, which was, trading fucking prisoners to slave masters. So, you know what I mean?
It's a lesser evil, yeah. And any messenger that comes over from hearing some things from another community or county, whatever, that person send them to biscuits and tea as well with the lady, and see what kind of extra information they have, since maybe they didn't provide all the details.
The only other thing you got to think of too is if she does do this interrogation, she's gonna find out Cerilia is undead.
It's not interrogation; it's tease and crumpet. That's the new nickname for it.
I think interrogation is a fine word. It's not torture.
Yeah.
We just did it.
We can also make an amendment in the the entire hiring document that we can put an NDA in there also. You know what I mean?
But I guess, Serena, are you okay with someone else knowing about your condition?
I guess that's the fairest and biggest point.
I mean, it's probably not ideal for it to get out, but sure.
Okay.
Do we take this to a vote at this point, guys?
Yeah, let's vote.
For that amount of money, hopefully she keeps her mouth shut.
He wouldn't disclose much information about her former employer, so I think she will keep it under wraps.
My vote is yes. We send Esme in. We tell her the specifics. We don't want her to, obviously straight up torture, because that's a big issue, obviously morality-wise, with a lot of us. But we want to get as much information about this eyeless one as we can, and a more specific location. If we were to ask her, could she take us there? At a later date, we want to be able to know that we could bring her along and she take us there. The layout of the tower. What's this dude look like? Things like that.
All right. If you haven't done so far, please place your vote in Discord there.
Adam, I'm going to abstain because I'm not there, even though I would vote for don't hire, but I'm not there.
Fair enough. That would, even if you did, that'd be 5-3. So the decision is made to hire her. Who is covering her salary?
I'll throw 40.
I'll provide 56 and pay the rest.
All right, perfect. She has been hired. Okay, guys, so that is the petitioner review. Next thing I would like to do is some time is going to pass, obviously, in this month. Eventually, after a couple of days, Dian, your family, and associates will indeed arrive at the capital. your wife Belle would explain that things took a little bit longer to get prepared, get everybody ready to go. You know, some people took longer than others, so there was no real issue. It just took longer, essentially, is what it was. Any specific details you want to discuss about her, where they're going to be, if you want them, I heard you like in a garden, that kind of thing, let's chat. You know, feel free to discuss with your teammates as well. If there's specific things you want from like a role playing perspective or anything else, you know, let me know in between sessions and we'll kind of expand on that a bit as well. Also, as more time passes by, so let's see, based on our calendar, see, today is technically the 24th of Keltier. After the 30th of Keltier, so 6-7 days ish have passed. So 30th of Keltier, Gizelex and her expedition has returned. She has recovered essentially 2 cartloads of a metal that she describes to you as being known as nihiladium. And nihiladium is basically a metal that is found nearby volcanoes and other really intense heat sources. So she explains that the quantity that she recovered, basically 2 wagon loads, it's enough to make not a ton of things, but she could certainly make some stuff. So she herself is not a blacksmith, but you know, she can basically turn this over to the blacksmiths in your town to have stuff created. She can throw it in your treasury if you want. If that's the case, though, she wants, she wants her share of it, right? Because you guys funded the expedition. She found it, but now she, wants half, essentially. So basically the total gold piece amount, if you were to just sell this nihiladium raw, you would get about 1,600 gold for this. So you can either give her 800 gold and you guys have 1,600 gold worth of nihiladium in your treasury. You can give it to your craftspeople and have them churn out some things. So think of this in a really rough way. I did this is you've got 16 crafting points worth of nihiladium. If you want to craft a suit of heavy armor, that's 4 points. Suit of medium armor is 2. Studded leather is the only quote-unquote metal light armor that would be possible. That's 1 point. A heavy weapon would be 3 points. A non-heavy, non-light weapon is 2 points. And a light weapon is 1 point. And the properties of nihiladium are, if you turn it into an armor, it reduces damage taken from cold spells or effects, an amount equal to the amount of points it takes to craft. So heavy armor is 4 points to craft. It would reduce any cold damage or effects by 4 points. Medium 2, light 1. If you make it out of a weapon of nihiladium, it deals 1 point of fire damage every time you strike with that weapon.
Is it considered magical for magical purposes on the weapon?
It is not, no.
Oh, I could use a monk weapon with some fire.
Yeah, I mean, so essentially we can give her 800 gold out of our treasury, and then we can just have 1,600 gold worth of this nihiladium. Is that what you're saying, Adam?
Yes, you would get the full load at that point.
What if we just would say, hey, you take a cart, we take a cart, and we go about our day?
Yeah, you could do that as well.
And that would just reduce everything to 800 gold pieces and then 8
You had
crafting points.
Exactly, yep.
Who has armor? Like, do any of us wear armor?
Well,
wear-
that's what I was
I wear
thinking
armor.
too, Adam. I would
Oh,
say
okay.
at least one of the things I would have done is I would have sent that breastplate that blacksmith bought me back to her for like a refitting. So I don't know how we want to play that out, but
You could have done that. They would do that for free for you since you're the regent. So, yep, no worries.
could you tell me the details of it or send it over to me?
Yeah, you're talking about the breastplate that the elven blacksmith created, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yep, yeah, I can send you those in a moment.
Yeah, maybe Blix will get some armor. He's always up front causing problems. I mean, resolving problems.
Yeah. I'll do that if you guys want to. I don't think we need the whole load, personally,
Yeah,
but
I agree. Yeah, I like splitting the baby on that. That's good. 800 each.
Yeah, that sounds like, yeah, and then we don't give her gold. She takes her cart, we take our cart, and then, we store it in our treasury until we need it kind of thing, or have it used.
Yeah.
And is that the last of what she thinks is there, or is there more to be had?
She explains that there probably is more, but she'd have to go farther. The one like vein that they found, they fully excavated. She believes there's other veins in that location, but it would be a new expedition.
Okay.
With
Well,
those
we'll
weapons,
definitely let her know that that since that came back with some good return for us, I think we'll let her know that if she wants to do something else in the future, that come and bring another proposal to her.
Did it? How much did it cost us to send the expedition?
It's a half gold bar, right?
Yep.
So it was 1,000, and she brought back
Oh yeah. Okay.
cool material. So it was
Had it in my head.
about even return.
Yeah, I had it in my
Hey.
head that it was 1 gold bar, and so I forgot that point.
hey Adam, are the weapons considered magical?
Nope. Bill just asked that same question. They are not.
Oh, sorry. Did I fall asleep?
God damn it, Brian.
I know.
I know what you guys are going for because you want to make sure to beat the resistance. I get.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, no. This is just you're dealing damage because the metal itself retains heat. It's not like magic.
Cool. Then no weapon for me. I don't need any of it. So
Yeah, I don't need any of it.
All right. So are we in agreement then? You guys are taking half a cartload and Jizzlex is taking the other half?
I think
yes.
so.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys see the rules there. You have 8 crafting points. I'm going to assume that like raw metal has just been deposited in your treasury. So if you guys want to document that somewhere, it's probably best, right? Just make sure you have that written down, and we'll have that for note purposes. In this time, obviously these days that have passed, eventually Tavern, the church folks obviously let you go after 4 days. They give you some information about this, but they tell you that their information is kind of really stretched. Essentially what they've done during this time is they've asked you to like kind of be in quiet contemplative prayer here, whether you did that or not. Some of the superiors came in, they casted some spells upon you. You didn't feel any strange effects or anything weird or anything like that. And then let's see, based on timing. Okay, so you remember when I told you, hey, I don't remember about this chart, I haven't rolled on this forever, and I had you roll a 1d10?
Yeah, I remember that. I've been thinking about it all week. Yeah.
All right, so here's what was really funny, aka could have been super deadly. So the 1d10 that you rolled was a 6. So that was actually a form of long-term madness. You rolled a 6 times 10 is 60 hours. So for 60 hours, then I had you roll another die. You had a long-term madness of a delusion that you believed you under the effects of a particular potion. The potion that you rolled was potion of water breathing. So you were deluded in believing that you could breathe underwater, but if you tried to, you wouldn't realize that you couldn't, and you basically would have just been dead.
Goodness.
Well, good thing we didn't go the other way when we were running.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
I was
that
like, I really hope he doesn't say, oh, I'm going to go jump in this pond and see what happens. Because I'm like, there's no mechanical way I could be like, well, you realize, because you're deluded, you really think you can.
So I got a question for you, Adam.
Sure.
Is it really that I couldn't, or I just never found out the truth?
Well, there you go. Yeah, you never found out the
I'm going
truth.
with the second. Yeah, I was able to breathe in underwater for a whole 4 days, and now I know it. I no longer have that power.
There you go, right? Yeah, belief is in the eye of the beholder, they say, right?
That's right.
All right,
The
so
powerful Oryx gets you.
So with those 2 major things out of the way, I'd like to get into our downtime actions at this point. So as a reminder, every player gets 1 downtime action. If you haven't had a chance to read through these yet, go ahead and go into the handout section, and under our World of Cerilia handout section, you'll find it's under the house rules section. House rules, and then you'll find a folder for downtime. There's a downtime overview, and then there's downtime actions. So I guess I will start with, because maybe seeing this will make it easier. Has anyone actually read through these and is ready to go? They know what they want to do?
Yeah,
Yes.
GN's ready yet.
All right, whoever would like to volunteer to go first. The macro is there for your use. You should have either added it to your bar or manually click it. Go ahead and fill it out. Let me know if you have questions as you're answering the prompts, and we'll see how it goes. I just want to make sure not everybody's waiting for somebody else to go first, right? Is somebody volunteering? Is someone already in the midst of doing this?
Yeah, I'm going through it, but I'm trying to figure this stuff out real quick.
Okay, yep, no worries. Let me know if you have any questions.
While they're doing that, Adam, can you let me know my experience gap between Vin and them?
Yes, it is on the sheet, but I can certainly pull that for you. So Vin has 10,725. The top player right now has 12,900. So your gap is 2,175.
Thank you. I do some math so somebody else can go before me.
Oh no.
All right. So Blixel attempted to earn some money by performing songs and tales in the city, and he failed with a minor complication. All right. So I'm going to stock that away. All right. So Dean attempted to learn crafting recipes by experimenting on herbs and talking to the herb. Okay. All right. So it's DC 10 success. Let's check that one real quick.
I forgot her name.
Arona. Okay, so that was a DC 10. So you've gained 2 uncommon or 1 rare recipes. Which would you like?
Rare.
1 rare
Nice.
recipe.
Nice.
Okay, for now, roll me a D4, Dean. Okay, wow. Okay, so you have learned how to craft potions of superior healing. These are 8d4 plus 8 hit points. Crafting these items costs 500 gold, and you have to have the ingredients, and you have to spend 10 days. So basically, you spent a month learning this. You know how to do it now. You can document that on your character sheet that you know this recipe essentially, and then once you find time to craft, as long as you've got the money and ingredients, you can make potions of superior healing.
Oh, great, thanks.
I'm not seeing gain experience on the downtime action.
Let me make sure I
Fourth one.
shared it with all of you guys. Yeah, it should be the 4th one down. It looks like it is shared there. So under downtime actions, it's the 4th one down.
But I
On
mean,
in the macro though.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I don't think I added that in the macro. Hang on one second.
Yeah, I had to
I
add
haven't
it to
even
my
looked at
bar.
the macro.
I had to add it to my bar.
Oh, it's a macro. Oh, okay, that's that little check
would I
box.
need to re-add it?
So for now, on the gain EXP, I'll have you do this manually. I will build this in for future, but when I thought, oh yeah, I should add that additional action, I forgot to add it to the macro, so that's on me. But yeah, it'll follow the same rules in the handout. So which DC would you like to attempt there, Serena?
Let's go with DC 10.
DC 10. Okay, just do a slash roll 1d20. If you get a 10 or higher, you have succeeded. All right, you've succeeded. You get 75% of your gap EXP. Let me do a quick calculation there. All right, so your gap is 1,055. So that just gained you 791 EXP.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, so that is, let's see, Serena, that's Blixel, that's Dean. Vin, are you doing the EXP gap one as well?
No, I might do that like on our next round of downtime, but I'll get that level 6 eventually because I'm not gonna make another lieutenant, I guess, at least for now. So, I need just a second. Who's left? Who hasn't gone yet? Tavard and
Tabard.
yeah, I want to go last if that's possible because I'm trying to figure out between two. I'm stuck between magic item and contacts.
Okay, Saline or Tabard, have you guys run through these? Have an idea what you'd like to do?
I'm reading through them, but my the thing that Saline would do is would probably be looking up lore and stuff or learning languages maybe. But I mean, her background feature gives her pretty solid way to gain lore outside the system, so I'm not sure if doing so is like really of benefit to her. You know?
It's always a judgment call, right? Like you have your own features and things. Obviously, gain lore can be used for a lot of different reasons, right? As they are listed there. And if you have something specific in mind, let me know, and I can let you know if it's something that lore would apply to.
Well, it's been sticking in my craw for like 20 sessions that she kept failing the checks on the what's it called, the Fang of Creatia or whatever
Yes.
Blixel's fucking wife took. So I
Whoa,
think
whoa, 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 whoa. There's no ring on that finger.
Blixel's fling took. So I mean, I guess what she would be most interested in right now is trying to figure out what that is. Like, assuming there's a library in Carolinian, but I mean, she would probably use her feature to do that because that would definitely be like a history or religion check or something, I would think, right?
So like the existence of it might be a religion check, but if you're trying to get the specifics, that would be a pretty high DC because knowing exactly what it does is not something that you would really learn in like studying religion. It'd be more or less like boilerplate kind of details.
Would it be any kind of check or just what kind of check would it be?
I mean, gee, I would probably think history, but I mean, if you're saying I want to try to see if I know exactly what it does, I would say the DC on that's going to be like 30.
Hmm. She could do it. No, it's
What's
okay.
the
I'll think
what's
about it.
the what's the major complication for research? You like cut your finger really bad, super paper cut?
Maybe, or maybe you find a tome and it's a tome that has some secrets in that you weren't supposed to learn, and someone now knows
Oh.
you know that.
Forbidden
Dun, dun,
knowledge.
dun.
Cthulhu comes for your brain.
You never know. Books can be dangerous.
Well, let me think more about it. I'll see if I can think of something that wouldn't be quite like DC 30, you know? But uh,
Okay, yeah, sure. You can think on it. We are basically at our session time, but I want to give everybody a chance to. Is there anybody else that's basically ready to go, or does everybody want more time to look through it?
Adam, I know what I want to do. I'm not sure where it falls into. You and I've kind of have talked about it before anyway. I want to be able to
If it's the same thing you mentioned already, that would definitely fall under gain lore.
Yeah, I'm talking about more about because I think I've already kind of that one. There's already been settled in my mind. Um, but I want to go ahead and try to find a way to become more of the other type of dwarf. And if you could put it in chat, so I can put on my character sheet what the other dwarven community is, so I can stop asking.
Sure, yeah, I can do that.
I mean, I already know dwarf, but I don't, if it's. I mean, I don't know if it would fall under no language on how to cause a dialect and learn the history of those type of dwarfs. Those type of things is what I'm looking to do.
So you're just trying to learn like the customs and traditions and behaviors of the other dwarves.
Correct. Yeah. Yep.
Honestly, I would still call that gain lore.
Okay. All right. That's what I'll do then.
All right. So yeah, feel free to decide which of the options that you want. So again, if you pick, say, common, you might know like the hairstyles that are pretty typical, or maybe like some of the most common names in that culture. Uncommon would be a little bit more rare. It could be things like who their allies are, who they typically get along with, who they're not friends with, and so forth. So if you tell me basically, again, what you said so far, I think everything probably would fall under uncommon. I'd give you all of that if you roll uncommon. If you want something more specific, then it might be higher.
All right. So is that the 10 or the 15?
The DC 5 is what I would call everything you've said so far. Basically, learning like about their dress and learning more about their culture. I would just call that a DC 5.
Yeah, I want to try to learn their history and things like that. So if I
With
come
history, I would count that a 10 then.
okay, all right. Well, we know where I'm rolling. Even if I rolled a 5, I'd still wind up rolling a 3. So let's just go with the 10.
Okay, so you were unable to find that level of information, but nothing bad happened as you're attempting to do so.
And not a lot of dwarves in this area, so.
Yeah, that's very much true. Okay, anybody else ready to go that hasn't gone yet? I think the only one left is Vin.
Yep, I got it. Here we go.
All right, gained contacts. Choose a DC 10. You succeeded. Okay, excellent. DC 10, 2 common or 1 rare. Which would you like?
Let's go with rare, baby.
All right, so you have 1 rare contact. We can discuss that in more specifics if you have in mind what you would like that to be. Otherwise, obviously, I can help you with that. The other thing, guys, I know we're a little bit over time here. What I'll leave you guys with is we also are doing what is known as a downtime event. So each of you just roll me a D100, and I will send you in Discord what your downtime event is. It might require a little bit of back and forth, like this happens, what would you like to do in response kind of thing. Just let me know in Discord, and we'll handle that way.
Do I know what the complication is? Because I have
Ooh.
a complication on there.
Yeah, so I've got it documented that you have a complication, and I will send you some details on that. As a reminder, minor complications usually are role-playing kind of things. They are not like mechanical penalties. Okay, so
Gotcha.
looking at your D100s. Okay, so Blixel, Vin, and Serena, all of you guys rolled species-specific values. So Blixel, yours might be a little bit interesting, being a half drow. Vin, yours will be easy. Serena, I think based on your background, I'm going to kind of consider you to be human, because I think that makes the most sense. That's kind of what you've been presenting as. Does that sound fair?
Yep.
Okay, I will send each of you guys your results, and let me know if you have any questions. Other than that, guys, appreciate the session. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Managed to get out of the ruins. That was a huge success right there. We're back in the capital, and we will have some more time pass by. Expect next session, you're likely to have some more petitioners. You'll have your downtime action to take, and all the political goodiness that you could get up to.
Awesome. Great job.
Alright.
Quick question. Did we level up possibly?
Yes. Yes, you certainly will based on the EXP gained. I can say for sure Tavern, Dian, Saline, and Blixel absolutely leveled. With Serena just doing the gain EXP, she will level as well. I'm not so sure about Vin, but let me do the calculations. I'll update the sheet here in like 20 minutes-ish.
Awesome.
Yeah, okay.
All right, good deal, guys.
Good week, folks.
Have a good night, all.
We're
See ya.
Good game, y'all.
Good, everybody.
Yep, bye.
Have a good week, guys.